At that moment, Yun Shen appeared behind him, blade flashing across his neck. Yet the Manhua spun and tore the figure apart, just another fake clone. The onlookers despaired. The power gap was too vast. Basic skills meant nothing before a triple-rank fiend. Arrogant, the Manhua taunted. Come on, boy! Weren't you strong? Fight me! Though wounded all over, Yun Shen rose calmly and replied, if you're so great, come here, stop bragging. The insult made the Manhua tremble with rage, stunned at being mocked to his face. Yun Shen smirked, tossing his shining knife. Just wanted to say you've already lost. The Manhua snarled, Los, you couldn't even scratch me. What nonsense are you spouting? Suddenly, light flashed. He turned pale as the dagger in his hands slipped from control. His arrogance backfired. Blood seeped through his sleeve, the first hint of fear on his demonic face. Instantly, Yun Shen charged, eyes blazing, shouting, let's see what's tougher, your hide or my blade. The Manhua flinched and stumbled back, trying to evade the strike. But each retreat only dragged him deeper into Yun Shen's trap. His foot snapped a hunter's snare. Steel clamps shot up, locking tight. He froze, realizing Yun Shen's goal wasn't damage, but immobilization at the key moment. Then black tendrils burst from the ground, root restraint wrapping him tight, choking his breath. Everything went as Yun Shen planned. He landed before the foe, voice cold, you're strong, but still just a triple-level Manhua. He continued, exposing the trick. The dark aura came from buried amplifiers beneath the ground he was guarding. Yun Shen smirked, that trap gave you away, idiot. Maybe try using your brain, calmly shifting the flow of battle. Then he unleashed flowing shadow thrust, every motion focused on the dark fiend. The explosion roared, the Manhua's figure vanished in smoke. Suddenly, he dove from above like a meteor, screaming, damn you, it'll kill you! But the more he raged, the tighter thunder lock bound him, body frozen midair. Furious and trapped, he howled, curse you, let me go if you want to live! A nearby girl smiled slyly, replying, enjoy staying still, the next round will be fairer. At that, Yun Shen hurried off, ordering 2 magisters, hold this post. He'll handle the cultists inside. He slipped quietly into the manor, melting into the shadows. Inside, the cultists screamed, who dares invade our sacred ground? Dark figures emerged, ready to fight. Yun Shen dashed forward like lightning, his trident spinning, sweeping down cultists by the dozen. Seeing his back, the followers trembled, shouting, Hez too strong! We can't win, call reinforcements! A wounded man gasped, even reinforcements won't stop him, sinking everyone into despair. Then, one screamed madly, what are you waiting for? Offer your lives to the Lord, hell avenge us! Cries of the Lord will avenge, echoed, dark energy flooding the manor. Watching, Yun Shen sighed, thinking, self-sacrifice again, maniacal zealots. Before he could act, the cultists all self-destructed, bodies shattering in vile light. Yun Shen's eyes darkened. Too late again. This ritual's insane, whatever comes out won't be weak. Still, he stayed calm. A heaven sacrifice is just a skill and skills can be broken. Then a massive black hole tore open before him, a towering sacrificial gate in midair. It trembled violently, groaning like a call from the abyss. From the darkness, a gigantic demonic hand emerged, claws dripping with death. Without hesitation, Yun Shen unleashed Lancer's Rush, charging straight at the demonic hand. Pouring all his strength into the trident's tip, he pierced the palm, black blood spraying everywhere. Smiling warily, he muttered, it worked, at least it's partly sealed. He didn't stop, striking again and again, until the hand convulsed in agony. Then he switched to the Stormage axe, cleaving with a swirling gust. At last, the monstrous hand shrieked and retreated, fading into darkness as the sacrificial gate began to close. Moments later, the gate sealed completely, leaving a suffocating silence. Yun Shen exhaled in relief. Good, stopped it. If that Manhua got through, I'd be done for. But a strange voice echoed from the void, sending chills down his spine. From the half-closed gate stepped a new Manhua, bones cracking, grinning down upon humanity. Yun Shen's face paled. Of course, with that many sacrifices, one gate would be the only one. He knew each class transfer didn't just boost power, it evolved one's battle potential. In that system, level 7 marked first transmission, 30 for second, 60 for third. The higher the tier, the greater the terror. Realizing his foe was a third transmission Manhua, far beyond any human of equal rank, Yun Shen clenched his fists. His boosted state had only 13 seconds left. He had to finish it fast or die. The Manhua laughed mockingly, still raising your weapon, relying on that Dark Knight talent. Then it lunged, claws sweeping wide. Your head's worth plenty, I'll offer it to the Demon Lord. Yun Shen spun aside, dodging and countering in a flash of motion. He reappeared behind it, slashing hard across its back with Void Slash. But the strike did nothing, only enraged the demon. It swung viciously, roaring, pathetic human, you can't even scratch me! The blow hurled Yun Shen into a wall. Blood dripped from his mouth, breath ragged. He realized the Manhua's raw power far exceeded his own, his body nearly paralyzed under pressure. Heart racing, his movements lagged. He couldn't match that terrifying speed. Yet instead of panic, he inhaled deeply, focusing to recover energy for a final strike. Suddenly, his weapon glowed crimson, morphing into a stronger battle form. The Manhua gawked, shouting, what? You're not injured? You activated damage immunity! Taking advantage of its confusion, Yun Shen smirked. Now the tide's turned. He gripped his dagger tight and charged, aura erupting like a storm. The Mizui roared, slashing for Yun Shen's eyes in blind fury. It howled curses nonstop. "Filthy human, just die already!" It stumped and slammed him down, shrieking, "Die! Die!" On the ground, Yun Shen gasped for breath, thinking, invincibility's almost over, but the plan's set. His eyes glinted coldly, filled with ruthless resolve. Suddenly, he kicked upward, sending the Mizui tumbling across the floor. Stepping closer to the writhing foe, Yun Shen looked calm, like victory was already his. His voice was low and sharp, dripping with mockery. "Told you the roles are reversed. Now do you get it?" Yun Shen gripped his dagger tight, its edge gleaming coldly. "Let's see your hair tougher, or my blade sharper." The Mizui stared in disbelief. "What did I just get hit by my own attack?" Yun Shen replied icily. "Now we can talk as equals. Since the Advent cult serves the Dark Realm, you must know where its headquarters is." He calculated swiftly. Compared to Xuantian Nation's army, Advent was trash, yet annoyingly well hidden. The Mizui howled, "Information. Never! Even a dog stays loyal to its master." Yun Shen twisted his wrist, snapping its arm with a sharp crack. The demon collapsed, screaming in agony, barely in control. From its right hand burst chains of blood-red light, whipping toward Yun Shen like vipers. He tightened his grip on the puppet talisman, voice cold, still resisting. "Seems you haven't realized your position." The Mizui's body split open, blood spraying as its screams echoed through the manor. It roared in despair, "Kill me, brat! The demon lord will never spare you!" Yun Shen answered calmly, "Then I'll take the third path, neither surrender nor die." His tone hardened like steel. "No negotiation, no mercy." Nether fire flared around his hand, black flames devouring the Mizui amid its shrieks. Even while burning, it laughed maniacally. "Kill me, it's useless! Humanity's long night begins! Ha ha ha!" Pulling out a dark orb, it screamed, "Join Advent! The Dark Realm is your only salvation!" The orb shot like light, striking Yun Shen's neck. The demon grinned wickedly. But a second later, it went silent, eyes wide, collapsing forever. Yun Shen touched his neck, no pain. It must have been a delayed indirect skill attack. He thought quietly, "I need to see Master Xia have him analyze this strange skill." Sighing, he muttered, "Still too far from triple-class strength, only the curse saved me." Clenching his fist, he realized the gap wasn't just stats but skill tiers. A basic skill point gave 10 damage, but at triple level it was 100, an absurd difference. He admitted his talent could upgrade skills enough for second-tier battles, but not to beat a true triple. Lost in thought, he didn't notice a figure sneaking up behind him. Just as danger loomed, his flash step skill auto-triggered, dodging a violent explosion. When the smoke cleared, his attacker was revealed, the traitor captain, sneering, "Yun Shen, you've made me suffer long enough. Now it's your turn." Everyone froze in shock. "It's him. Where are the instructors?" A teammate whispered, "Alive, but badly wounded, no strength left." One magister staggered out, bloodied, sighing, "Damn it, too many peaceful years dulled my edge." Yuan nodded gratefully. "At least no one from our team died, but Yun Shen's in real danger. Has clearly the target." Master Bao frowned. Could someone else still be pulling the strings? Meanwhile, Yun Shen trembled, breathing raggedly, body on the verge of collapse. The earlier battle had drained almost all his energy, leaving him weakened by lingering debuffs. Barely standing, Yun Shen muttered, "If I'm dying, I'll at least wound him first." The Mizui sneered, "Still drawing your weapon. Kneel and I might spare your life." He schemed if he could make Yun Shen submit, the demon lord would reward him richly. But Yun Shen roared, "Submit to your damnation," and gripped his spear tight. The Mizui bellowed, "Then die!" Murderous aura flooding the air. Just then, a figure leapt from a stone platform like thunder striking down. The impact slammed the Mizui into the ground, debris scattering everywhere. The shockwave hurled dust and stone. The demon crashed into a cracked wall. Gasping, Yun Shen asked, "Who are you?" The girl shifted form, smiling. "Mr. Yun, you're my master's only idol, otherwise." Tilting her head playfully, she added, "How could my master let you walk into danger alone?" Realizing who it was, Yun Shen exhaled. "So it's you, no wonder you looked familiar." Xiao Yu grinned. "Yep, Master Xia told me to join Kathy's team to move alongside you." She shrugged cheerfully. "Actually, my master sent me to investigate, but as a succubus, blending in as a teammate was easier." From the rubble, the Mizui rose, coughing, growling. "Why?" He screamed. "Why betray the Dark Realm to help humans?" Xiao Yu smiled wistfully. "Because both my heart and body belong to my master and you dared oppose him." Her tone turned icy. "Atone with your death." Demon wings burst from her back, power flooding the battlefield. The surrounding cultists panicked and fled without looking back. Xiao Yu flicked her wrist, chains of void energy lashed out, binding the Mizui midair. Terrified, he shouted, "Demon King Shackles, you're a demon lord, why serve a human?" Xiao Yu smirked. "Isn't it obvious? I was subdued. Who'd abandon a throne to be a maid otherwise?" With that, she tightened the chains. They exploded, shredding the demon's body instantly. Yun Shen thought, so she really was subdued by Master Xia. Xiao Yu giggled. "At first, yes, but after staying with him so long I accidentally fell in love." She grabbed Yun Shen's hand teasingly. "Don't know how you beat a triple Mizui, but wow, almost made me fall for you too." Yun Shen blushed, scratching his head. "You say that to everyone." Xiao Yu laughed. "Well, I am a succubus. Then she pulled out a magic pouch. These Majui corpses are useful, let me preserve them for HQ. Yun Shen asked curiously, what special use does a demon corpse have? She replied casually, for sacrifice of course. Anything else would be a waste. Then the two walked toward the sacrificial altar, eerie firelight flickering across Yun Shen's calm face. Looking around, Yun Shen muttered, so this connects to a god. First time I've seen one. They say divine potions and gear come from sacrifices like this. Xiao Yu carefully laid the two Majui bodies on the pedestal, eyes gleaming. To get divine items, you usually need 2 demon lords. These 2 triples aren't quite that, but good enough for a rare exchange. Yun Shen stared at the altar. But this belonged to dark cultists, humans can use it too. Xiao Yu chuckled. Of course depends on the altar type. She explained, an altar is just a gateway. Sacrifice humans, and it summons dark gods, sacrifice demons, and it links to the divine realm. She smiled gently, saying Mr. Yun only needed to pray sincerely at the altar and the god would respond. Yun Shen took a deep breath, stood before the altar, and prayed for a skill strong enough for a jobless man to face a third turn. Instantly, he raised his hand as swirling light engulfed the altar, shaking the air with demonic power. The 2 demon corpses dissolved, turning into white light streams wrapping around the altar. Divine energy surged into Yun Shen, his eyes blazing with blue fire. A voice echoed in his mind, you've obtained Fusion Technique Grade A. It merges basic skills into variants. Warning, heavy mana cost, attribute drift may cause failure. Yun Shen clenched his fist with a grin, and rank fusion skill was more precious than Shrank itself. Xiao Yu clapped cheerfully, congratulating Mr. Yun on the completed offering, then left for another mission. He nodded, needing to aid Guildmaster La Yuling. Yun Shen teleported to the support point, arriving at a chaotic battlefield. Sitting on a boulder, he realized it was a pile of Advent believers' corpses. Cassie stood nearby, smirking, Junior, you're late, the spoils are mine. He marveled she had soloed a second-turn squad and even defeated a half third-turn fighter. Before him, the warrior woman stood amid blood and ash, her gaze chilling. In the Weapon Academy Dean's office, Xiao Yu bowed. Master, mission complete. Mr. Yun is safe, offering successful, power greatly boosted. She handed over a file. Bad news, though the Advent cult reappeared, humans might mutate into demons. I also gathered intel from the manor. The dean opened the report, eyes cold as ice, so that's their next target. Bold indeed. At Jiangnan University's workshop, a teacher scratched his head awkwardly. Sorry, Yun Shen, I just returned from the front lines, resuming your project now. Yun Shen smiled. I understand the front takes priority. How's the blueprint? The teacher grinned. Perfect, 100 of your specs. He revealed a glowing demon light weapon. Please upgrade it. I want it raised to diamond grade. The teacher gaped. Diamond. That's noble tier gear. You got enough credits for that. With a single account sweep, Yun Shen gathered 100,000 credits from demon hunts. Jia Shu gawked. 100,000. You plan to wipe out the whole Advent nest. Chuckling awkwardly, Yun Shen scratched his head, saying he only killed a few third-turn demon threads, making Jia Shu break a sweat. The teacher then promised confidently to personally deliver a brand new masterpiece in 10 days. Meanwhile, students across Shansao Weapon Academy buzzed about the upcoming global championship. At that moment, Blue Robe asked, what about me? Black Robe replied, Champion Jia Lu Xinxing will represent Shanlong Nation. Yet Blue Robe sighed, saying freshmen like them had no chance against senior elites. Amid the growing hype, Yun Shen quietly focused on his own work. Instantly, a strange breaker array floated around a mysterious core, its aura thick. Light flared, the array quaked, and metallic echoes filled the room. At last, the demonic breaker array shattered its limits, its quality soaring to platinum. Receiving the new weapon, Yun Shen mused that the system's reward was worth it. It even granted a cross of resurrection. Meanwhile, Xiao Jing kept training nonstop, growing more skillful each day. Thus, after all her guided sessions, her rank now matched Yun Shen's battle-ready. Just then came a knock. Yun Shen called softly, come in. The door opened, and a smiling girl entered, saying her master had a gift for him. She turned out to be Kan Yin, assistant to Dean Xiaoquan Cheng. After chatting, she praised his demon hunt that boosted him to level 30, far above normal students. Yun Shen tugged his collar, revealing a faint mark, saying even at high level he couldn't reach second turn. He explained the mark was carved by a third-turn demon thread before death, its purpose unknown. Hearing that, Xiaoquan Cheng's face darkened. It was a soul chase seal that hunts its prey to death. The room grew heavy. Everyone sensed how deadly that mark was. Worried, Yun Shen asked if it could be erased. Xiao Ling said only by offering to a demon lord, otherwise impossible. Xiaoquan Cheng added slowly, only the Dark Fiend Nightender of Slaughter could reclaim that seal. Yun Shen reeled. She dwelled in the dark world ruled by demon lords. He was powerless. Then Xiao Ling brought a jar of sea god statue balm per Xiaoquan Cheng's order. The dean spread some on his neck, explaining it came from a divine statue's corpse and could temporarily mask the mark. Gradually the sigil dimmed, leaving only a faint glow under the sacred balm. She handed him the jar, warning to apply it daily and find a cure before it ran out. Otherwise, he'd be tracked and hunted endlessly by Advent and the dark world. Xia Quan Cheng frowned. Things were getting dangerously serious. She asked, putting that aside, you fought demon threads, what's your impression? Yun Shen replied, they look exactly like humans. Xia Quan Cheng nodded. Indeed, many demon spawn looked indistinguishable from mankind. She added, if they hide their dark aura, horns, and tails, no one can tell, and once you step into the dark world. Suddenly, Xia Quan Cheng said the dark world scenery was dazzling like paradise. Yun Shen blinked. Scratching his head, he thought it should be hell. Her description was bizarre. She chuckled, saying that realm had both beauty and cruelty, only its mana density was far higher. When its twin gates opened, demonic energy corroded across, killing plants and driving weak beasts insane. So though its land looked calm, to them it was hell itself. Yet some sold their souls, serving demons for strength and evolution. Hence the dark world stood above the human realm where power ruled all. Yun Shen asked gravely if demons here suffered the same effect. She nodded. They'd adapted, making wars fiercer. Then she grew solemn, saying something more crucial, eyes glinting. She revealed Xiao Yu's duty wasn't just protection but tied to the global battle tournament. Yun Shen said he'd heard of it, assuming it was only for third-year students. She smirked. Strength, not grade, was the rule, and disclosed Advent aimed to infiltrate the contest, so they needed him. At once she declared, you'll enter the global battle tournament to foil their plot. Yun Shen gaped. What, me? Right then, his system chimed. Global battle tournament mission activated. Rewards by rank, no penalty for defeat. Yun Shen muttered, looks like I can't dodge this one. Days later at the arena, the referee shouted. The qualification match began, with 53 students competing. The whistle blew, light flashed, and a figure dropped into the arena amid dust clouds. Sand and dust filled the air, veiling the stands. The crowd buzzed, unsure what just happened. Then someone screamed. It was Yun Shen! Standing in the haze, he smirked. Sorry, seniors, this slot's mine. The third-years gasped, a freshman daring to challenge them. Bold indeed. The air fell silent, all eyes turning toward the stand where Lu Yuling sat. She rose sharply. Who said only third-years can fight? The strongest alone shall represent Xuanlong Nation. Students murmured angrily, accusing her of favoritism for letting a newbie join. Ling replied coldly, just one more competitor. Don't tell me you're scared of a freshman. Her words lit a fuse. Enraged students rushed the stage, shouting to crush Yun Shen. From the stands, a green-hatted guy sneered. They done know Yun Shen earned 100,000 credits, big shot of Squad 7. Instantly, the 30-years bellowed, each eager to be the first to take him down. Yun Shen sighed calmly. Fine, all at once, save us some time. They roared, laughing. No solo duels, just swarm him fast. A blonde guy lunged first but was blown back before striking. Yun Shen spun his spear lightly, snapping out. The rest wised up, unleashing their skills. Ice crystals, dark flames, and red chains flaring across the arena. He channeled mana, hands glowing blue, forming a demon flame dragon amid swirling wind. The green aura roared into dragon form, shaking the earth as it charged. Yun Shen wielded his spear, facing 3 foes at once without faltering. In the stands, a blue-clad girl gaped. His power felt like second turn. Her friends whispered he must have demon lord essence. Then, a student council member stepped out, pointing and shouting, gang tactics are the price for defying us. A golden hexagram flared beneath Yun Shen, blazing bright. He muttered, as expected from a second-turn celestial strong. They'd have struggled before. But now, confidence gleamed in his eyes. The celestial sneered, thinking Yun Shen was trapped. The Valio Doomfield can't be broken, not even by teleportation. Yun Shen stayed calm, fusing skills to summon a unique creature from Summoner Arts. The system chimed. Xiao Jing, Thornvein Maiden, LV30, Platinum Rank Skills. Whip Strike, Seed Scatter, Thorn Bind. The crowd roared. A low-rank summoner calling a Platinum Beast. Impossible! Xiao Jing stared at her towering form, cheering. Wow, I'm stronger! Yun Shen yelled from inside. Less excitement, free me first. She cast Seed Scatter, sending countless green seeds toward their foes. At first harmless, they soon latched on, unbalancing enemies. Clearly an energy division ability. Yun Shen combined water magic and wind art to accelerate seed growth. Energy rain poured down, merging with demonic air to form a storm of skills. Vines sprouted, wrapping enemies tight, leaving them thrashing in panic. Screams echoed as the stands erupted in chaos. At that moment, Yun Shen summoned more vines, blanketing the ground around the Valio Doomfield. The array cracked, then collapsed entirely within seconds as the light vanished. From above, a white-clad figure looked down, smirking. Interesting, but now it'll go all out. Suddenly, another voice roared, aren't you ashamed? The whole student council ganging up on a freshman? The newcomer was Vice President Nao Chang, famed across the academy. The students panicked. Retreating rumor said he'd once fought a third-turn Dao Master evenly. None dared interfere. On the stand, Lu Yuling smiled faintly. Nao Chang shot her a teasing glance. If I win, go on a date with me. She replied firmly, fine if you can beat him. Nao Chang laughed. You heard her. I've got motivation now. Kid, watch out! Yun Shen warned Xiao Jing seriously. Headstrong, don't get in the way. Withdraw. She nodded and obediently retreated. Nao Chang chuckled, praising Yun Shen's sense, recalling his summon to save mana. Now it's a real fight. Yun Shen replied coolly, perfect, I wanted to test a few new moves. Now Chang stepped center stage, announcing loudly this match would decide the global tournament slot. No objections. Yun Shen smiled confidently. If I can't beat you, no one else stands a chance. Ref, start it. The referee nodded. The match officially began. In dim light, Now Chang smirked, releasing dark mist, declaring he wouldn't hold back for the president's promise. The smoke formed a ghost summoning ritual, his signature class skill. Wailing spirits materialized, shrieking for blood, their cries echoing through the arena. Yun Shen frowned. His buffs were weakening. He assessed calmly. The curse type was annoying but not terrifying. Steady, he cast a Hydere Priest spell, dispersing the ghosts into white vapor. Suddenly, a shadow swooped overhead, a black sword slashing down. Yun Shen realized the trick, using wraiths as cover for a surprise strike. Clever, but risky. The blade hit, yet the impact was light. Like wood, he noticed the blow wasn't meant to wound. Now Chang warned coldly, daydreaming mid-battle is suicide, then slashed at vital points relentlessly. Each strike hit precise weak spots across Yun Shen's body. Numb pain shot through him, his body trembling, inwardly screaming. He steadied himself, gripping his spear, suppressing groans refusing to yield. Seeing his right arm limp, yet uninjured, he froze. It had gone senseless. What the hell? Now Chang smiled thinly. That's the special effect of my class, Hai Wu Chang, the dark impermanence. He explained his weapon was so unique, it defined the class itself, born from a fusion of reality and game, gained through divine sacrifice. He continued, saying he once found the staff in a graveyard, leading him to study the hidden class Soul Trader, eventually becoming the Soul Dark Impermanence. With that staff, he could see souls and strike them directly, bypassing flesh. He added, Yun Shen's arm went numb, because his soul was hit. Damage would recover in an hour, but his tone dropped, eyes sharp as blades. You have two souls in your body. That's not normal. Yun Shen froze, thinking, dual souls? I've never had that. Then whose soul is the other? Raising his spear, he said coldly, maybe you'll find out once I take your weapon. Right after the challenge, Now Chang roared madly, you bastard! This weapon's mine, even my parents can't touch it! It'll kill you! He kept screaming, it'll kill you, losing all control. Yun Shen frowned, thinking, I just wanted to borrow it. What a petty man. Now Chang hurled a pitch-black orb, shouting, die! As the arena trembled. The orb shattered, turning into waves of cursed mist spreading across the floor. Hundreds of spectral arms burst out, clutching Yun Shen's legs, dragging him down. He slammed his spear into the ground, casting a purging spell, instantly dispelling the ghostly haze. Breathing hard, he muttered, troublesome, this skill still drains my stats heavily. Feeling weaker, he realized he had to end it fast before total exhaustion. He dashed forward, switching to melee mode, activating a basic knight skill. Now Chang blocked with his staff, sneering, pointless. Yun Shen replied coldly, don't be so sure. He spun, triggering an assassin's skill. A phantom clone appeared behind his foe. Now Chang chuckled, summoning a demon wraith to counterattack from behind. Their clash exploded, blasting Yun Shen back. He was momentarily on the defensive. Gritting his teeth, he cursed inwardly, damn, fighting melee while debuffed as hell. Now Chang swung, smashing the clone. The feedback stunned Yun Shen's real body. He was thrown aside, rolling across the floor, sweat pouring like rain. Seizing the chance, Now Chang summoned more wraiths, driving them into Yun Shen's spirit. Black fog enveloped the stage. Yun Shen staggered, unable to react. Moments later, he was cocooned in darkness. Now Chang laughed. Let's see your stats drop to 0. One more hit. But before his laugh ended, the ground rumbled violently. From the cocoon burst golden light as Yun Shen roared, fine, let's see if your debuff beats my buff. He activated fusion mode, entering full class state. His body morphed into the 10-wheel form, aura skyrocketing. Now Chang's eyes bulged. T10-wheel state. The system chimed. All stats 500, resistance 150, damage 80 for 45 seconds afterward, 99 stat decay. Power surged violently, truly a third turn tier ability, but the mana drain was brutal. Now Chang still smirked, no matter how strong, it'll grind you down till you're empty. Yun Shen sneered, you won't even touch me at my current speed. He spun, using a Swordmaster skill, drawing and vanishing behind his foe in one flash. Now Chang hissed, invoking Demon Merge, his staff smoking with dark fire. The staff blazed, counter-striking toward Yun Shen. He laughed wildly, useless! No matter your stats, you're still a rookie using beginner skills? Yun Shen smirked, then I won't use beginner skills anymore. He fused Void Slash from Knight with Air Uplift from Swordsman, launching a combo that made Now Chang scream in pain. Without pause, Yun Shen chained more strikes, spiraling green energy tearing through his opponent. Now Chang spat blood, blasted backward, crashing hard onto the ground. His body trembled, battered and almost powerless. Yun Shen walked slowly over, stumping on the staff his foe cherished more than life. He muttered softly, so this is the true feeling of your weapon. Now Chang panicked, longing to clutch the staff, tears streaming as he cried, my weapon! Tell me it can still be saved! Yun Shen asked coldly, yield or keep fighting? Now Chang trembled, voice hoarse, yield. Then he burst out laughing like a madman. No, never! You'll never steal my weapon! It's everything to me! Yun Shen replied calmly, I never meant to steal it and now, I don't even need to. He bent down, picking up a shard from the cracked staff, gripping it thoughtfully. he murmured. This fragment I've already changed it. For an instant, he saw souls the way Nao Chang once described. You have only one soul, he muttered, but I have two. One was bound to his body, the other drifted like a loose thread in the void. He looked up at the sky, eyes growing solemn. That's right, the second soul must be tied to my system. Could this system have its own consciousness or be something far more complex? Just then, Misley entered the lab, reporting to Old Deep. The tournament roster is out. He burst out laughing. That was fast! I thought it'd take 2 days, he said, turning to ask, who's selected? She replied, Liu Ling and Yin Shen. Hearing the names, Deep and Fuck choked on his coffee, coughing hard. He gawked. What? Only third-years were supposed to qualify? How did that kid slip in? Misley said calmly, likely Dean Xia Quan Cheng's order. Stroking his chin, Deep and Fuck mused. If it's her doing, there's a deeper purpose behind this. Narrowing his eyes, he added, she's plotting something big from the rear lines. In Xia Quan Cheng's office, Xiao Yu bowed. Master, Mr. Yun has succeeded. He secured the qualification. Xia Quan Cheng nodded, unsurprised, then said, good. But this is only the beginning. The true trial lies ahead. Her tone chilled. What's the army's response? Xiao Ling answered. The front lines are tense. They can only give minimal support, 20-second turns and 28 third turns per zone. She smiled faintly. Het looks like busy times are coming. Meanwhile, Yun Shen kept training hard, clearing full-class quests daily, his skills and stats soaring. After brutal eliminations, over 500 nations had chosen their elite representatives, all prepared to depart for the Holy Empire, host of the global battle tournament. Yet not everyone came seeking glory or fame. In the shadows, a group of hooded figures quietly emerged. Their leader whispered, time for the world to taste fear born from the dark. At that same time, in Bluefield Academy's sophomore dorm, Yun Duang yelled in frustration. Ugh! I'm gonna explode! She cried, voice filled with grievance. She had just finished the term, planning a vacation with her brother only to get dragged into the tournament. Yun Shen smiled awkwardly, special circumstances. But inside, he felt the heavy weight of his mission. She angrily stuffed her suitcase, and he advised, pack light. It's an international event, they'll provide what we need. Yun Duang frowned. Not my fault, you stuffed all your gear in already. He laughed weakly. My space bag's tiny, half full with weapons. She giggled. Heard someone change classes so many times their bag could fit a palace, wonder how strong they were. Yun Shen pondered, replying, not exactly, you'd need rare material called spatial essence crystal. Oh right, Chen Sai already ordered it for everyone. Suddenly, a knock at the door interrupted their chat. Yun Shen got up, opened it, and said, come in. The visitor was Ru Kun. She looked at him sadly and asked softly, can we take a walk? They walked side by side in silence for a long while, neither speaking a word. Finally, Ru Kun said, I'm returning to Silver Moon Forest to begin my second turn moonlight trial. Yun Shen only grunted, making her frown. I said I'm leaving soon. Don't you care? We'll be apart for a long time. He replied flatly, going home for training is normal. What should I do? Throw a farewell party? She flushed red, shouting, you'll be the death of me. Thinking bitterly, why do I even like this idiot? Huffing, she pulled out a necklace. Here, take it. Thanks for helping me this semester. He accepted it, saying simply, thanks, but eyed it curiously. A necklace. In truth, it was nature's protection, an elven relic of friendship granted only by those of royal blood. Ru Kun blushed, stammering, don't get weird ideas, it's nothing special. Think of it as a battle token. Yes, that's it. She turned and sprinted off, shouting, accepting it means accepting my challenge. Once I finish my second turn, well, fight again. Yin Shen stood stunned, thinking she really is obsessed with competition. As he returned inside, the familiar system voice chimed, prepare for departure, the global tournament is about to begin. He took a deep breath, packed swiftly, ready to set out. Soon, he and the national team were escorted to a secured base before departure. In a lavish room, their assigned escort arrived. Im Sunfei, your instructor for this mission, honored to assist you, he introduced. Liu Ling sipped her drink coolly. Alright, just mind your own duties. Sunfei stiffened but bowed politely before leaving. Yun Shen frowned. He said he's our instructor, but he acts more like a servant. Liu Ling nodded. That's right, his job is to serve us. She added, most instructors are third turn, but since our power rivals theirs, their attitude shifts accordingly. Yun Shen mused, makes sense, strength defines status after all. Liu Ling smiled faintly. Exactly. Power earns respect. He asked suddenly, but from entrance exams to nationals and now global, aren't there too many tournaments? The front lines are strained. Liu Ling shook her head. No, precisely because the front lines are unstable, these tournaments are essential. She continued, strategy is long-term, but nurturing the next generation matters more, we can't neglect it. In short, she concluded, every competition is a form of resource selection. From the first exam, we've been fighting for our own rewards and chances. Soon the rules were explained, stronger players earn more resources, top academies gain privileges, and the global matches worked the same. The speaker's tone deepened, describing disputed territories full of rare resources too valuable to seize by force, so the global tournament would decide ownership. Ultimately, the top-performing team would gain exploitation rights, a policy shaped by years of war with the Dark World. Yunshen nodded thoughtfully. He mused, compared to war, this is wiser, saves effort and avoids pointless bloodshed. Suddenly, Ling turned to him with a teasing smile. We've arrived, how about a date? Yunshen jumped, blurting, huh? But Ling propped her chin and said coolly, the vice president once bet a date with me in your duel win for a reward. Seems fair, Senate. He tried to stay calm, scratching his head made sense, but still weird, then said, I don't see dating as a reward. Yet Yunshen just grinned, not a reward. Fine, but if you treat me out, I won't say no. Ling chuckled helplessly, Junior, you're really something, then stood up. She offered her hand with a gentle smile. Once we reach the Holy Empire, I'll gladly take you sightseeing. All right? He shook her hand, smiling lightly, thinking it was also a great chance to gather intel and observe this new land. When the car stopped in the capital, Yunshen suddenly asked, wait, what about money? Ling frowned half-jokingly, mention that again and I'll be mad. The group approached the massive city gate, guarded tightly under shimmering mystical light. Yunshen asked curiously, what's that glow? Sunfei smiled, a divine artifact unique to the Empire, with special effects. She added, it nullifies stealth, disguise, and similar tricks. Suddenly, something strange happened. Yunshen's hand was gripped tightly by Ling's, warm and full of resolve. She declared seriously, our date officially begins now. Ling looked around like a kid on her first trip, eyes sparkling. Wow, the Holy Empire, so many foreigners! Yunshen laughed. Well, we are abroad, foreigners are expected. She pouted and pinched him lightly, smiling awkwardly. I know, but you're so quiet it doesn't feel like a date. She grabbed a brochure, eyes shining. Oh my, that dish looks delicious! Then she dashed between stalls, stopping before a swimwear shop, laughing. Who'd dare wear those weird things? Seeing her so hyper, Yunshen made an excuse. I need to find Master Sun. Got something to ask, secretly thinking she was exhausting. But before he could leave, she caught him, linking arms playfully. Don't you dare sneak off ice cream first. He sighed. All right, let's walk more. Meanwhile, he recalled Xia Kuncheng's words, if the plan succeeded, the Xuanlong nation would be free from the dark shadow forever. Yunshen clenched his fists, eyes firm. He must stop the Descent organization before the global tournament began, for himself and for Yuntang. Suddenly, a violent explosion cut his thoughts short, both tensed, sensing danger. Screams erupted across the street. Bomb, run! Panic spread fast. Yunshen froze, frowning. Could this be a terrorist attack? Staring toward the blast, he muttered, dark energy. Ling nodded. Yes, this isn't random. Amid the chaos, a man in black chased a boy, yelling, you died today! The kid cried for help. Yunshen raised his hand and immobilized the attacker with a swift control spell. The others shouted furiously, bastard, you're dead, and charged. But before they could act, Ling's kick sent them flying with groans. She stood firm, eyes cold, voice sharp, sneak attacks are for cowards. The crowd murmured, so young yet so strong, must be a global contender. Behind Ling, fox ears appeared, stunning Yunshen. He thought deeply, foxtail not beastskin, her aura leans toward the demon race. The restrained cultist screamed, let me go! Yunshen replied coldly, no, I've got plenty to ask you. Just then, the police arrived, shouting, stop! No fighting in the city, come with us now! Yunshen gave a wry smile, thinking, fast response, impressive efficiency. By the time they left the station, it was late. Ling sighed. My first date ruined, Yunshen replied. That guy was a dark cultist, handed over to investigators. He turned to the boy. Yunshen, this is Ling from Xuanlong Nation. Why were they after you? The boy's stomach growled loudly. He stammered, unable to speak. Yunshen sighed, thinking, better feed him first. When food arrived, the boy devoured it, like a beast. Dishes piling high. Yunshen gawked. How long have you been starving? Ling tilted her head, judging by his clothes, probably from some poor microkingdom where people eat dirt to survive. After eating, the boy awkwardly pulled out a few coins. Here's my payment, not sure if it's enough. Yunshen waved it off, smiling. No need, trade me information instead. What do you know? The boy replied instantly. Angel, from the Sala Kingdom in Western Titan, a national representative for the global tournament. He continued, right after I arrived, they captured me, planning to kill and impersonate me. I escaped using a special artifact and met you too. Yunshen squinted skeptically, that's all. Angel scratched his head. I also heard them say some comrades already replaced other contestants and planned to stir chaos during the event. Ling took a bite of cake, speaking lazily. Those dark rats are bold, dirty tricks for grand schemes. I'd love to see their next move. After parting with Angel, the two returned to their hotel, the mood noticeably heavier. On the way, Yunshen muttered, everything went too smoothly from finding the cultist to getting intel, it feels staged. Ling replied seriously, I believe him. Sala Titan's a poor backwater, its powers weaker than one city of Xuanlong Nation. She added, that country barely has any third-tier experts. That kid probably joined just to earn resources for his people. Yunshen looked up at the sky, exhaling, I see. Anyway, the tournament starts tomorrow, let's see what tricks they pull. Suddenly, Ling tilted her head. Junior, is that a tattoo on your neck? Never noticed before, it doesn't suit you. He flinched, covering his neck, thinking, the sea god's mark is gone, must have been nullified at the gate. This tournament won't be simple. The next morning, at the Holy Empire's teleport hall, Yun Shen and Zhu Ling stood ready for the opening ceremony. Scanning around, he noted, everyone here is strong rare or hidden classes only, no ordinary ones in sight. Zhu Ling frowned, don't judge by class, you're jobless yet they still fear you. She continued, hidden classes aren't everything. Bloodline talent and synergy matter more. A perfect fighter can even beat a rarer class wielder. Yun Shen chuckled, guess I was narrow-minded. Deep down, he knew strength wasn't just numbers. The moment Zhu Ling appeared, the crowd buzzed, from Xuanlong Nation, daughter of the Guardian General, the favorite to win! Someone whistled, she's stunning, such unique charm. His teammate yanked him back, don't. She's a powerhouse, stay clear. Who's that kid beside her? He cast an appraisal, frowning, no class transfer. Probably just a filler teammate. Did Xuanlong Nation run out of talent? Suddenly, a haughty voice yelled from behind, ha! Trash from petty nations dares join the global tourney. It'll crush you all after it's over. The speaker was none other than Kagaji, third prince of the Bee Empire, bearing the terrifying golden dragon bloodline. The crowd paled, whispering, it's the tyrant. He once killed mid-arena, and no one dared stop him. Those who'd bad-mouthed him trembled and fell to their knees. Forgive us, your highness! Spare our worthless lives! They groveled desperately. Please pretend we don't exist! Yun Shen frowned, this was over the top. Zhu Ling crossed her arms calmly. Not every place is like Xuanlong Nation. The Empire worships might for the weak, dignity's a luxury. Kagaji glanced at the trembling crowd and laughed arrogantly. Ha, don't be scared, kind. You're here for your nations, right? It'll give you a fine choice. Placing a hand on one man's head, he rumbled, in the tournament serve as my slaves. In return, it'll grant you abundant resources. Then he sneered, with your strength, you'd never reach round 2 anyway. 1 week of my spending could feed your nations for a year. Hearing that, the small nation fighters instantly bowed, shouting, we pledge loyalty and service to your highness. Yun Shen scowled. He won't keep his word, he'll discard them after use. Zhu Ling nodded, true, but they've no other choice. Suddenly, crisp footsteps echoed, followed by a gentle yet commanding voice, Prince Kagaji, everyone here represents their nation. The voice continued, forcing others into servitude hardly flatters Bee Empire's image. The crowd turned, whispering, it's Lucy, princess of the Holy Empire, beautiful and mighty. The top contender? Kagaji chuckled, Princess, you misunderstand, I'm not forcing anyone. They volunteered. Lucy sat beside the small nation group, smiling softly, truly. If anyone's coerced, tell me the Holy Empire won't shelter bullies. But under Kagaji's crushing aura, they trembled, stammering too, volunteered. Zhu Ling smirked, voice dripping sarcasm. How noble, everyone knows they're terrified. If you want to protect them, form an alliance, words mean nothing. Lucy stepped forward with a faint smile, still sharp as ever, Zhu Ling. Zhu Ling replied coldly, don't act familiar, I'm not your friend. Lucy brushed past, murmuring, is that so? Fine, I wasn't here for you anyway. The crowd gasped, whispering, Princess Lucy wasn't after Zhu Ling. Then who may be that guy? Lucy stopped before Yun Shen, bowed slightly. Mr. Yun, from Jiangnan University in honor. Lady Shai's parents, your mentor's family, aided our royal house greatly. Yun Shen blinked, repeating, Lady Shai's parents, helped the royal family. A deep respect stirred within him. Lucy covered her smile. Oh, you truly didn't know? She continued, Lady Shai's parents were guardian generals of Xuanlong Nation, heroes who fell in the war against the Dark Realm. Were they alive, the current general's seat might belong to someone else. Zhu Ling muttered irritably, that woman just can't skip the jabs. Suddenly, all lights in the hall went out, plunging the venue into thick darkness. The host's voice rang clear, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Global Dominance Tournament. Allow me to announce the rules. He continued, Round 1 Survival. Each 2-person team will be teleported randomly into the extreme ice field, survive 7 days and slay monsters to earn points. The top 100 scorers will advance to Round 2, the arena battle, broadcast worldwide. Fight for your nation's glory! The crowd erupted, some went pale, only 100, over 500 nations, 2 each, that's over 90 eliminated. Insane. The host continued, each contestant has received a battle recorder. It tracks your score, but can be stolen. Yun Shen glanced at his blue recorder, realizing it was a test of conflict and competition, not just survival. Then a small nation fighter asked Kagaji how to find him if teleporting randomly. Kagaji sneered, just imprint my mana mark. If you don't meet me, deal with it yourself. A blue light descended as the host announced the rules. No consumables or food allowed. Violations mean disqualification. The tournament officially began. The destination, the frozen extreme. The teams were teleported. Zhu Ling and Yun Shen were swept into the beam together. Once stable, Zhu Ling laughed. 7 days surviving together feels like a weird date, doesn't it? Before them stretched endless white, snow so thick the horizon vanished. Zhu Ling stretched, saying they should focus on survival. Yun Shen nodded, snow for water, but food was the real issue. He activated his fusion skill between mage and mechanist, mana spreading as he resolved to scan the terrain first. His hand touched the ground, energy waves rippled outward in expanding circles centered on him. Suddenly, a distant purple signal intersected with his blue waves, an unusual energy response. Zhu Ling's eyes widened, praising, "Your detection skills crazy precise, you're truly a jack of all trades." Yun Shen steadied his breath. 3 signals appeared luckily, all were nearby monster lairs. He decided to move, saying they'd use them for food, and Lu Zhu eagerly followed. Soon they reached the first cave, frigid air billowing thickly from within. Inside lurked 3 beasts, giant snowfolk, tundra assassins, and frost bears, all gold tier, level 4-star or higher. Even under tense pressure, Yun Shen smirked, teasing, "Guess a little campfire made them mad, huh?" A roar shook the ground. The giant brutes charged like avalanches of muscle and fury. Their punches crashed, sending violent shockwaves rippling through the ice field. Yet Yun Shen stayed calm, blue flames coiling around his fists, murmuring, "Big fists don't mean big power." In that instant, his fusion skill flared. Blazing fist combined with Titan strike, one punch tore the air, obliterating the giants into ash. LG Ling watched, eyes gleaming with admiration. Level 36 taking down level 43 beasts solo, what a monster of talent. But then she frowned as an icy droplet landed on her shoulder. Moments later, a hailstorm slammed down, pelting violently like the sky's wrath. It was the ice golem's earth hailstorm skill, carrying a brutal slowing effect. Worse, the remaining monsters switched targets, all charging at Zhu Ling, catching her momentarily off guard. She huffed coldly, eyes glinting, "So, they know who's more dangerous." She brushed her fox tail back, smiling challengingly, "Let's see who this land should fear more." A flaming blossom bloomed in her palm, its heat surging fiercely. In an instant, a sea of fire consumed the monsters, painting the sky crimson bright. When the flames faded, the ice golem and snow assassins were nothing but ashes drifting in the cold wind. Meanwhile, Yun Shen finished off the last few stubborn snow brutes trying to flee. In the quiet aftermath, his gaze lingered on Zhu Ling, clearly an elemental mage, yet her magic felt strangely unique, unlike any normal caster. Suddenly, the ground quaked, the cave's ceiling cracked open, rocks falling like rain. Then, a massive shadow burst through the wall, landing with a crushing force that stole the air. It was a snow mountain ancient ape, level 51, platinum 5-star, roaring like thunder. It swung its left arm, right claws slicing the air, its ferocity surging like a storm. Yet the moment it appeared, it was struck by a combined assault from Yun Shen, and Zhu Ling. Blood splattered across the cave. Both shouted in unison, "Shut up!" as the monster's roar mingled with the howling snow outside. Later, beside a blazing campfire, Yun Shen and Zhu Ling rested, skewers sizzling, aroma filling the cave. Leaning back, Yun Shen exhaled, counting results. 3 layers cleared, boss kill worth 50 points. Zhu Ling smiled, saying if they split the points, today was a jackpot, qualifying should be easy. Yun Shen picked a crispy, slightly burnt skewer, ready to hand it to her. Holding it out, he grinned, "It's done, senior, eat up." She eyed the charred bits, grimacing, "Fix your cooking first." She chuckled softly, half teasing, "Next time let me cook, save us from burnt dinners." He scratched his head awkwardly, still edible, thinking he clearly lost to the home chefs he knew. She took the skewer, muttering, "You and your mentor both cook terribly yet talk like pros." Then, eyes nostalgic, she recalled dining with Dean Xia 7 years ago, the meal so awful it traumatized everyone. She laughed, saying when criticized, the dean proudly replied, "If I can't cook, that's what maids are for." Yun Shen was speechless, never imagined the dean had such humor, then asked what her class really was, since her skills seemed so odd. Zhu Ling covered her mouth, teasing, "You stare too much, it made me hesitate to take you as a student." Yun Shen grimaced, "Please don't." She grew serious, "I'm an elemental mage, but my special bloodline lets me command all 7 metal, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, and lightning." He immediately asked, "Then what about the last 2 elements?" She winked mysteriously, "You'll know once we're closer." Meanwhile, in the Holy Empire's data chamber, staff were buried under piles of reports. Commander Evka asked calmly, "It's the 3rd day of prelim, status of the contestants." The staff replied, "Princess Lucy leads with 700 points, the top 100 all exceed 500. Good news." Evka nodded, "Casualties." Out of 178 contestants, the report read 375 lost their recorders, over 100 dead, far beyond forecasts. Evka exhaled softly but stayed composed, still within acceptable range. A staffer asked timidly, "Why not monitor with cameras, too costly?" Evka's tone chilled, "Yes, cost is immense, the ice field's vast, we lack the resources. But mainly it's unnecessary." She continued, "Everyone knows nations rarely coexist peacefully, territorial feuds and prejudice make most view each other as enemies. Thus, though war was banned, the prelims became a stage for vengeance, killing rival talents, and that above all, must never be caught on camera." A staffer frowned, "But isn't that breaking the treaty on talent selection and resource sharing?" Evka just smirked, "Those who lose aren't worth sharing with," then asked, "How are the 5 great nations performing?" "Most still strong," the staff replied, "but LG Ling and Yun Shen from Long Nation are dropping ranks, may fall out of the top 100. Evka muttered, "If they do, what a joke." Outside, Lu Ling laughed gleefully, "Just as planned, our teamwork's unbeatable, cleared all monsters in days." Yet Yun Shen didn't smile, murmuring, "We wiped them too fast, nothing left to do now." He analyzed their total was 532 points, decent but too little to advance far by just slaying beasts. He frowned. Monsters were thinning. Killing contestants now yielded more points. That was the true path. Ilu Jiuling nodded coldly. Others must be thinking the same. To stay in the top 100, they'd have to hunt players, but Yun Shen worried. Finding prey would be hard. She tilted her head, smirking. Unless we bait them with something juicy, say, rookie unclassed from Xuanlong Nation. Perfect target bait. Footprints stretched across the white snow, leading down the mountain's edge. They were Yun Shen's had deliberately infused mana into each step, a lure for predators. Then he chuckled, didn't expect the greedy fish to bite so soon. A beastman stalked behind, grinning, whispering, smells like others nearby, fun's about to start. He signaled his crew, kill that dragon girl too, the loot'll be huge. If we split them up, easy pickings. Two dashed out, striking fast, stealing the recorder before retreating. But others jumped in, roaring, those points are mine! Chaos erupted instantly. Yun Shen calmly triggered his fusion skill, channeling martial power into his kick. You really think him weak? He stomped down. Shockwaves burst outward, flinging all ambushers back. Some smashed into rock walls, others skidded bleeding across the snow, screams echoing through the ridge. The survivors panicked, retreating into the freezing dark. The sheer power stunned them. Only third-tier elites could do that. One stammered, has no rookie has on par with LG Ling or Lu Di. Others cursed, we've been tricked. Run! Has a tiger in pig's skin! But as they turned, thorn vines lashed out like steel whips. They coiled around their legs, yanking them into the snow. Terrified screams rose. Why are thorn demons growing in this frozen land? Xiao Jingsong swung her vine whip, crushing the enemies instantly. Only faint struggles remained in the blizzard. Yun Shen approached, eyes icy, blade gleaming, mocking. You thought you were hunters, but you're just bait. Netherflame erupted, devouring the foes as their dying screams begged mercy, offering all their points to live. From afar, Ilu Jiling smirked behind a boulder, thinking, seems I don't even need to lift a finger. The battered enemies fled after surrendering all points, still cursing, fake weakling stole everything we worked for! Yun Shen smirked, slumping into the snow, exhausted, muttering, they brought this on themselves. Damn, burning them with nether flame really drains me. Checking his spoils, his eyes lit up. Over 3,000 points in one fight, even halved, still enough to rocket into the top ranks. Not far away, 4 cloaked figures watched. One admired Yun Shen's strength, while the other's eyes gleamed with greed. They whispered, has spent now, strike fast, kill him, and offering his recorder to Kagaji will earn us huge favor. Suddenly, the 3 lunged, shouting, do it! But Yun Shen, sensing their mana, had already anticipated it. He muttered coldly, rats hiding long enough eventually show their tails. Finally couldn't resist. Huh! Netherflame flared once more in his hand, ready to consume the ambushers. Just then, a voice cried out, stop! It was E.G., eyes filled with respect as she faced Yun Shen. Her voice trembled, please, don't hurt him, stunning the 3 who froze in confusion. They barked, E.G., are you insane? If we don't get enough points, Lord Kagaji will kill us. Ji shook but stood firm. He saved me once, I'll find another target, but spare him this time. Yun Shen stepped forward, eyes sharp, replying curtly, no need to intervene, I can handle this. The trio panicked, backing away, muttering, damn, it is still strong, and with E.G. blocking us, we're dead. Ji bowed deeply, voice apologetic, I'm sorry. Yun Shen, I didn't think they'd really attack, I should go. She turned and ran after her team, shouting, wait for me, while Yun Shen silently watched, saying nothing. Lu Ling emerged, sighing, E.G. still doesn't get it, the one he saved was her teammate, not her. When she returns, punishment's certain. Tilting her head, she asked softly, does that bother you? Yun Shen shrugged, why would it? In these prelims, everyone's an enemy, meeting her was just chance. His eyes gleamed with strange light. Now I want to test Kagaji's score. Jiuling chuckled, teasing, cold mouth, warm heart, why not admit it nicely? By the fire's glow, a burly man sat on a rock, chewing roasted meat, while a girl knelt before him and 4 others bowed low. His arrogant voice rumbled, I expected nothing from you useless worms. He nodded slightly, if you failed against strong foes, I'd accept it, but failing for vague excuses, he said coldly, means attitude problems. He sneered, a disobedient dog has only one end. Ji dropped to her knees, trembling, I'm sorry, but Mr. Yin once saved me, I couldn't ignore that. Please, Lord Kagaji, grant mercy. Kagaji narrowed his eyes, smiling wickedly, don't fear, I'm kind. Choose lose your brain or lose your country. Your call. One of E.G.'s comrades stammered, why? Another replied coldly, Kagaji always keeps his word, E.G., you'll pay. Ji shivered, tears falling as she bowed repeatedly, voice choking. She sobbed, please spare my country. I'll take any punishment. Kagaji licked his lips, grinning darkly, as you wish, then. But at that instant, his body froze. The cold press of a demonic gun barrel touched his temple, the click of its trigger echoing sharply. Yun Shen stood coldly and said curtly as he withdrew his foot. Kagaji raised a brow and asked, what if I refuse? Before he could finish, Yun Shen pulled the trigger. Boom. His men screamed. He actually shot, straight at the temple. Smoke rose from Kagaji's head unharmed. He clenched his fists, eyes turning savage. Yun Shen frowned. That shot only burned the dragon thread, didn't even touch him. Kagaji snarled, brat, you've got guts, then unleashed ancient beast's wrath and charged with wild fury. Yun Shen reacted fast, fusing skills, activating ammunition grandmaster comboing divine gun, and amplified thunder bullet for a critical blast. A monstrous shriek followed lightning clashed violently with raw power, creating an earth-shattering explosion. Kagaji looked at his bleeding hand in surprise. This kid's no joke, equal to La Ruling time to get serious. Yun Shen immediately cast appraisal technique, eyes sharp. Data appeared Kagaji level 53, race golden by Herman, class ancient beast warrior. He gritted his teeth, level gap too vast, info too scarce. Kagaji roared, stomping down the ice cracked open, debris flying everywhere. Yun Shen flipped aside, dodging the devastating blow. But Kagaji teleported behind him, fist drawn back for the killing strike. Yun Shen turned, eyes blazing, muttering, then taste this Eastern ancient fist. Their punches collided, ground quaked, shockwaves blasting dozens of meters wide. The spectators froze, gasping, what kind of freak dares fistfight a golden by Herman like Kagaji? Kagaji clasped both hands to crush him, while Yun Shen poured all into martial fusion fist titan strike, launching mystic Eastern staff right into his gut. Seizing the moment, he darted behind and drew his demon soulbreaker, aiming to end it in one blow. Kagaji smirked, kid thinks he can beat me. Then his golden by Herman bloodline erupted violently. He growled, two options: get stumped or crushed, towering over Yun Shen like a mountain. His subordinates trembled, whispering this was Kagaji's true power, yet that kid's insane, wielding every weapon and skill imaginable. Kagaji raised his fist, roaring, if you want choose, I'll choose for you! Yun Shen leapt up, meeting the strike head-on, eyes fearless. He twisted his wrist, morphing the demon soulbreaker into a sword and slashing from Kagaji's shoulder down. But the blade only grazed the skin, no mark at all. Gritting his teeth, he thought, too damn tough, fine, try this instead. He unleashed Rogue Void / Rising Slash, the strike cutting across Kagaji's arm. Kagaji snorted, the wound was nothing, and lunged again. The two clashed fiercely amid swirling snow and smoke. Ji watched from afar, sweat pouring among 500 nations. Only by Herman dared stand alone as an empire, and now he understood why. Their flesh surpassed humanity. Kagaji, a golden by Herman, nearly indestructible per ancient texts, only divine power could harm him, and that required a 4th-tier class. Even as a 2nd-tier, he'd never lost to a 3rd. The battle defied reason. Yun Shen fused assault swordsman with piercing swordsman, unleashing a devastating penetrating strike. Afterward, he retreated, eyeing the shallow wound, barely a pinprick on steel. He considered tenfold wheel, but the side effects were huge, sighing that if only he had spatial affinity, it'd be over already. Kagaji roared, reactivating Ancient Beast's wrath, charging like a storm and sneering, stop tickling me, standing still, I'd still win. Yun Shen twisted aside, sliding over ice like lightning. He morphed the demon soulbreaker into a staff, voice cold, let's see who tires first. Fusion skill triggered instantly, linking extraction of limbs with extraction of growth. Giant roots burst from the ground, wrapping Kagaji tight in a dense web. Yun Shen sprinted along his body, eyes fierce, smirking, if defense is too strong, then stab the eye. Kagaji howled madly, veins bulging as he broke free and unleashed Ancient Beast's wrath at full power. Yun Shen calculated instantly before Kagaji could react. He used shallow step to blink in close. Kagaji barely saw the demon soulbreaker lunging. He bit down on the blade, shouting danger! But another vine suddenly coiled around his neck, eyes wide. He gasped, what? Not the eyes! Stunned, Kagaji froze, then Yun Shen appeared right before him. Yun Shen drove the demon soulbreaker deep into his mouth. Fusion of fireball technique and martial palm gust exploded inside Kagaji's body, convulsed, black smoke spurting from his mouth as his scream split the air. Yun Shen snarled D and struck decisively. At that moment, vines bound Kagaji's arms like iron chains. Holding the vine's end, Yun Shen lifted himself, voice icy, looks like your insides are rent as tough as your skin. He swung down, palm aimed at Kagaji's ear, unleashing bright sky exploding flame palm. Blood burst from Kagaji's mouth, his scream shook the land. Sliding along the vine around his neck, Yun Shen spoke evenly, don't rush, I still have spots to test. If I burn your lungs, how long will you last? Nether hellfire erupted, rushing into Kagaji's nostrils, his body trembled like it would burst. Terrified, Kagaji croaked, stop, I yield, mercy! I'll leave EG and his nation alone, just no more explosions! La Ruling stepped forward, calm, Junior, stop. His still a rare genius keeping him alive benefits future wars. Yun Shen released his grip, gaze cold, fine. Mercy granted, but hand over your battle record device. He thought, best not to upset the balance now. Kagaji, trembling, held it out with both hands, voice shaking, here, take it. Yun Shen pocketed it, turned away. La Ruling glared at Kagaji, saying sternly, if you're strong, use that strength against darkness, not to bully small nations. Night fell, the two found rest on the mountainside. Firelight danced over La Ruling's smile, you're tired today, let me stand guard. Yun Shen merely nodded, still tense from battle. The sun sank, crimson light painting the snow. In the night, noise woke Yun Shen, his hand instinctively gripped his weapon. Ji rushed in, panting, panic, bad news, something huge. La Ruling frowned, what is it? Let my junior rest, just tell me. Yun Shen stepped out, asking shortly, what happened? Ji stammered, Kagaji, Lord Kagaji is dead. Both froze. La Ruling repeated, what did you say? Kagaji dead? She frowned deeply. Impossible. He was injured, but not fatally. Yunshen agreed, voice low. I fought him. I know that defense. It rivals a third tier. Even wounded, there's no way he could be killed so easily. Ji clutched his head, voice trembling. I don't know. When I woke up, men in black dark cultists were standing around Kagaji's corpse. He shuddered. They actually infiltrated the qualifiers? They killed him. If I hadn't run, I'd be dead too. Horrifying! Ruling frowned, doubtful. Dark cultists. I've slain hundreds. How could they kill Kagaji? E.G. insisted. I swear, I heard them mention a young leader, the son of the Grand Commander of Descent. They're way stronger now. Yunshen mused coldly. And you kept that quiet. Didn't mention it over dinner. Ji hung his head, stammering, too. Forgot my mistake. Yunshen's tone iced. Fine. But if that young leader's truly here, his prime prey, killing him would strike Descent hard. Question is, where to find him? Ji inhaled, suggesting, I'm a phantom hunter. Tracking's my thing. Their aura still lingers near Kagaji's camp. If you're in, I'll lead. Yunshen nodded without hesitation. Good. Lead on. Then they departed at once. Meanwhile, in the data center, alarms blared. The third prince of the Biherman Empire's life signal vanished. A royal contestant, dead mid-qualifier. Staff panicked. Ruling and Yunshen's scores spiked. Then Kagaji died. Everyone knew what it meant. War-hungry Biherman might soon turn on Xuanlong Nation. Commander EVK slammed the table, voice icy. Calm down. She said slowly, just another casualty in the frozen hell. Death's normal. Then her gaze sharpened. Kagaji may just be the beginning. Ji led the way with Yunshen and Ruling, following the dark aura trail. He urged, hurry, the sense fading. We'll lose it soon. The group sped up across the slope, but Yunshen's eyes narrowed. Danger tingled in the air. A violent whirlwind crashed down, blocking their path. Yunshen slid aside, instantly sensing the intruder's power. From the storm stepped a blonde girl, voice soft as wind. Sorry, you look like you're in a rush. She smiled, but I only need a few bounty points. Jess' face drained, stammering, Princess Lucio, no, we're dead. Yunshen's voice went cold. We're hunting dark cultists, not playing. Move. Lucy giggled carelessly. Oh, shame. I find you more interesting than those rats. Ruling stepped forward, shielding her junior. Go, both of you. Don't delay. I'll handle this witch. Yunshen and E.G. understood and left immediately. Lucy smirked after them. Leaving me behind? Doesn't look like he likes you much. Ruling flipped her hair with a scoff. Less talk. My junior trusts my strength, enough said. Her mana flared, melting the snow beneath her feet. Lucy unlocked her seal, smiling. Oh really? Hell, be disappointed then. Both launched forward. Their mana clash erupted into a fiery explosion. Battle ignited. Meanwhile, Yunshen and E.G. reached Kagaji's camp. Corpses scattered, blood streaks staining the snow. Yunshen examined Kagaji's body. At least 6 mana types intertwined had been ambushed brutally, dying in agony. Ji clenched his teeth, seething. Yeah, they struck mercilessly. Power far beyond anything we've seen. Suddenly, Yunshen tilted his head, dodging a dagger aimed at his neck. He spun sharply, voice steel. E.G., you and your group killed Kagaji, didn't you? His sword slashed across E's chest. Blood spurted. E.G.'s face showed utter shock. Yunshen attacked relentlessly, coldly, no matter the reason. Plotting murder deserves death. At that moment, a group lunged from the shadows, grabbing Yunshen and pushing him back. The curly-haired young commander appeared, weapon aimed at his back, growling, die. Metal clashed, sparks flying. Yunshen spun, countering with the demon soul breaker just in time. Simultaneously, a black spear shot forward like lightning. He activated Violent Slash, combining Battle Kick and Martial Shock Step, launching a fierce counterattack. His stump created a massive shockwave, hurling the enemy group far. A female subordinate rushed to support the curly-haired one. Worried, Commander, are you okay? He grimaced, blood trailing his chin, teeth gritted, unbelievably strong, almost died. The cut on his chest smoked, then quickly healed. Just a surface wound, easy recovery. Yunshen frowned, analyzing silently. This healing speed was abnormal, not due to medicine. Phantom hunters lack healing skills, so what was it? He noticed all enemies endured his fusion skill and still stood their power, clearly beyond normal contestants. He tightened his grip, gaze icy, ready for a real life-or-death battle. Ji rose, suspicious. Yunshen, since when did you start doubting me? Yunshen replied calmly, from the start, when you claimed to be rescued from dark cultists and held secret intel. He continued, too coincidental, too convenient. Only when the soul seal was exposed did I understand. It wasn't luck I found you, it's that you already knew my position, and came intentionally. Ji frowned, voice cold. You think it's all just coincidence? Yunshen smirked, vast extreme ice abyss, hard to find monsters, let alone people. Yet you arrived exactly where I was. Likely used phantom hunter powers to leave traces of my aura, tracking me easily. Ji laughed scornfully. You overthink. I did save you once and even fought Kagaji with you. Yunshen's tone chilled. I just wanted his points and to see how far you'd act. He sneered. Save me. Don't pretend. If not for knowing Ruling was hidden, you'd have struck long ago. Ji raised 2 fingers, eyes flashing murderous intent. No wonder the organization offered huge bounties. I get it now. He snapped his fingers, voice cold. No matter, we're now in stealth mode. You'll die before realizing it. Yun Shen closed his eyes slightly, activating full realm sense, sensing disturbances knowing stealth could fool eyes but not existence. Mana feedback spread, he thought. E.g. didn't grasp this, so foolishly attacked directly. He twisted, dodging 2 rapid backstabs in a flash. The black-haired guy screamed in shock. What? The curly-haired one gritted his teeth. He dodged. Yun Shen aimed at the green-haired man, activating super battle kick. The thunderous kick drove him face-first into the snow, cracking the ground. Without letting him recover, Yun Shen surged forward, unleashing a relentless fist combo. The black-haired man was blasted away, spitting blood, screaming in rage. Damn it! Yun Shen drew the Demon Soul Breaker, blade flashing one by one. Suddenly, countless black tentacles erupted from the ground, dense with the dark mana of the Grand Dark Priest. Yun Shen knew he could dodge in time, so he chose to confront them head-on. He focused his mana, fire energy exploding, incinerating each tentacle. Black fragments flew everywhere. His eyes flashed, targeting the female Dark Priest. A controlling mage, if not taken down first, should be a huge problem. He activated fusion of Extreme Speed Swordsman and Battle Hero Gale Step, unleashing the ultimate move Gale Strike Pursuit. In an instant, he swept around the female priest. Growling die! The snowy ground shook violently, shockwaves blasting away the ice layer. But just as his spear was about to pierce, a massive radiant shield blocked at her body, distorted under golden armor. Yun Shen gasped. What? Just a Grand Dark Priest, yet she can lift a divine shield and wear holy armor. She arched her brow arrogantly, flaunting skills beyond her class, proving no one monopolizes such power. At that moment, black tentacles shot out, trapping Yun Shen in the dense night. Immediately, the curly-haired man activated his extraction device, transforming into a fierce martial master, launching a violent punch before collapsing. But just as his strike neared, a flash of light appeared. Sudden twist. Yun Shen used divine stealth to escape, appearing near the explosion zone. He and Sarko analyzed likely all of them carried dual classes, abnormal strength, probably maintained with mana cultivation. He murmured, now he understood they had the power to kill Kagaji, each compensating for weaknesses, not easy to handle. At that moment, a sinister voice called from behind, Kid, where are you looking? Immediately, the attacker unleashed a triple flame strike. Yun Shen disrupted the formation, creating distance. He noted mentally the opponent combined mage and swordmaster skills smoothly, extremely formidable. Suddenly, a shadow slipped beneath him. The assassin activated Phantom Preemptive Strike. Curly-haired sprang from the ground, screaming using Warrior Critical Rage Strike, fast and deadly precise. Yet Yun Shen used Divine Contact, making the axe slash pass through air harmlessly. He leapt the axe up, smirking, adding another class skill. What's so strange about that? Then he said decisively, all your tricks bore me, you won't win. He stomped hard, staggering the curly-haired man, unable to lift his weapon. The man gritted his teeth, roaring, who said I can't win? Then, he triggered the warrior's burst skill, pushing strength to the limit. Yun Shen retreated, activating Phantom Step, dodging the axe neatly, leaving the opponent to strike only snow. Simultaneously, the woman swung her staff, calling tentacles and divine insects to combine into a dual strike. Yun Shen used Phantom Step, sliding past the hail of projectiles, escaping the coiling tentacles. Green-haired chased closely, screaming, die! But he remained calm, thinking they had full skills. He relied on basics, before he would have had to flee. Green-haired swung a triple flame strike, the fire blade grazing Yun Shen's leg. He merely smiled. Fusion skills aren't just combination, but innovation. As the curly-haired lunged, Yun Shen stood firm, confident that mastering fundamentals provides solutions for all situations. He fused Assassin Clone and Shadow Trace Kill, making the shadow beneath him real. He Kai slammed a punch, colliding directly with the curly-haired man's strike, ringing loud. Both fell into the snow. The curly-haired man gasped. What kind of monster is this? Yun Shen calmly replied, what I created. The Kai Shadow inherits 75 of my power, carrying all assassin skills. He ordered sharply. The Kai Shadow lunged, delivering a fierce punch that forced the curly-haired man to defend. Instantly, he realized the shadow nearly matched the original in attributes, its strength far beyond a basic skill level. Curly-haired gritted his fist, yelling, just a clone, don't think you can pressure me! Yet the shadow blocked all attacks, reaction speed rivaling the main body. The Grand Dark Priest raised her staff, voice cold and disdainful. What kind of hybrid skill is this? Mutant? Suddenly, Vine shot up, wrapping half her body before she could react. Xiao Jing screamed, activating the Thorn Vine. Don't bully the master! The Grand Dark Priest sneered, dark mana spreading, ordinary petal demons, dare block me. The Thorn Vine retaliated with a flurry of lashes, space exploding with sharp sounds. Two powers clashed, tentacles and Thorn Vine entwined. Yun Shen merely smirked, so what if they're skilled? Coldly, he added, a bit thicker skin, Xiao Jing can handle her now. At that moment, green-haired and black-haired shouted together, Kid, where are you looking? Yun Shen turned, replying curtly, and you two don't see what's under your feet. Both froze, instinctively looking down. Suddenly, two bombs hidden under the snow clicked ominously. Yun Shen immediately fused mechanic and windringer skills, creating a tornado sweeping skyward. They screamed amidst the storm, a trap, despicable! Green-haired panicked, running and yelling, "Pull back! This isn't good!" Yun Shen's gaze was icy, voice sharp as a blade. Too late, no one escapes. Gunshots tore through the wind, too fast for the eye to follow. Instantly, green-haired exploded midair, leaving only charred fragments. Yun Shen stepped forward, eyes cold, facing the Grand Dark Priest, now the sole survivor standing. She trembled, backing away. Don't come near me! 3 minions behind were trapped by vines, unable to move. Yun Shen crossed his arms, scanning the demon traces vanished clearly. He abandoned his allies to escape. The Grand Dark Priest laughed mockingly. You think the commander would intervene for you? You weren't the real target. Yun Shen frowned, surprised, so I'm just a secondary target. Pupils narrowed, voice low. Turns out the one they aimed for is me. Order executed. He leaned, speaking quickly. Xiao Jing, when they slip, leave a trace, then return. She nodded softly, yes. Yun Shen immediately dashed, figure blurring like wind through the snowy forest. He fused extreme speed swordsman and battle hero Gale Step, velocity skyrocketing, determined to pursue. In the distance, La Ruling's battle still raged fiercely. Lucy and La Ruling clashed evenly, strikes sparking on impact. Both gradually exhausted, breathing heavy, eyes unwilling to relent. Lucy gasped, horse laugh. Ruling truly lives up to the name. La Ruling smirked, gaze sharp. Not bad, you forced me to use 7 elements. She inhaled, voice deep, same age, first one to make me serious. Now final strike decides. Suddenly, La Ruling's eyes froze, expression shifting. A figure appeared, firm hand gripping hers, voice cold. Compared to her, you should worry for your life first. A sword pierced through La Ruling's chest, blood spraying. She gritted her teeth, hands still holding her customized weapon. Weakening breath, she whispered bitterly, so this trap was laid specifically for me. The demon was silent, lips curling arrogantly. He assumed among all contestants, none rivaled La Ruling, even Yun Shen or Lucy, and eliminating her was safest. Hearing that, Lucy's face darkened, voice trembling with anger. You mean that witch is stronger than me? She gritted her teeth, eyes blazing. That hateful mouth, ripping it apart would feel better. The demon smirked, tilting his head. Princess Lucia, with your current injuries, fighting me is suicide. Risk it for an outsider. Lucy said nothing, only stared at him with unwavering eyes, words unnecessary. The demon nodded mockingly, fine, but running is better once I finish with her. You want escape. He suddenly paused, eyes flickering in surprise as a surge of strong energy arose. La Ruling roared, celestial flame blazing violently around her body. The force pushed the demon back, yet he held the blood-stained weapon tightly. La Ruling seized the moment, sliding across the snow, body shaking, but will unbroken. The demon narrowed his eyes, voice icy, run. You won't escape my grasp. Lucy clasped her hands, smirking faintly. La Ruling, I'll avenge you in the semifinals, rest easy. Blood trailed her steps across the snow behind. The demon unleashed multiple hunter spears in hot pursuit. She bit her lip, dodging desperately, muttering regretfully, I shouldn't have been so careless. Bitter thoughts struck. Apparently the dark cultists targeted no one else. She was the real objective. The demon smirked coldly, murderous intent rising. At this point, don't think you can escape. His dragon-cleaving blade descended, slicing the air with raw force. La Ruling dodged sharply. Snow beside her was deeply gouged. She coughed blood, noticing his dual-class level was terrifyingly high. The demon replied coldly, arrogant smile, thanks for the praise, but your path ends here. La Ruling raised her head, voice resolute, I knew you'd act early, didn't expect the one needing rescue would be me. The demon swung again, voice icy, sadly, no one can protect you now. La Ruling tilted her head, whispering warily, has right, you heard that, didn't you? At that instant, a gleaming sword appeared, blocking the demon's strike. The impact pushed him back. Looking up, he realized who arrived, Yun Shen. He smiled calmly, voice even, sorry, headmaster, I'm late. La Ruling could still joke weakly, late points deducted. The demon gritted his teeth, cursing, damn it all, useless fools failed. He knew dueling Yun Shen was a dangerous gamble. Dark mana swirled around him, voice low, regrettable I didn't kill her, but the objective is achieved, staying is foolish. La Ruling watched calmly, asking he ran, why not chase? Yun Shen shook his head, eyes cold, no need, I have other matters. He tightened the spear, gaze firm, headmaster, bear with me a moment. He decisively withdrew the spear, blood spraying. La Ruling shivered but gritted her teeth. Yun Shen immediately activated fusion, combining light priest and life extraction to heal. Red light spread, warm vitality surrounding them. La Ruling's chest wound closed, bleeding stopped. He asked softly, the wound healed, but why is this part still dark? She replied weakly, cursed spear with special properties, reduces 80 attributes for 7 days. He left once reassured. Yun Shen nodded, I know purification skills, but La Ruling shook her head, only a Grand Light Priest 4th year could undo this. She exhaled deeply, voice low, injury is fine, but strength heavily suppressed. I'm weak now, keep going, don't miss points. In 2 days, I'll follow. Suddenly, Yun Shen bent down and helped her up. He carried her on his back, saying firmly he couldn't just abandon the wounded. Liu Ling froze, then smiled awkwardly, thanking him. Amid the white snow, Yun Shen carried her as flakes buried their tracks. Resting her head on his shoulder, she murmured that she could handle normal foes herself. Yun Shen glanced at her seriously. What if it's a dark cultist who wants your life, not points? She groaned angrily, calling him annoying. He laughed, saying the humble president had slain no fewer cultists than him. He added she didn't seem surprised they had dual classes. Lu Yuling sighed. Her father's special status meant she already knew. She continued, saying dual classes required using the Demon Lord's marrow, also called War God's essence. It's refined from the heart of a fourth-turn powerhouse, granting superior stats and skills. Yun Shen muttered, so the demon used War God's essence made from a hidden fourth-turn heart. He sighed, surprised that even dual hidden classes were infiltrating. What were they planning? His steps halted, snow crunching softly beneath him. He looked up, eyes bright. It's here. An ancient mossy stone altar lay ahead. Lu Yuling dismounted, surprised to see the teleport gate on day 4 instead of 7. She sat down, relaxing and smiling, telling her junior to go earn points while she rested. Yun Shen shook his head calmly. She couldn't even eat without Monster's help, and they already had top 100 points. Lu Yuling smirked faintly, saying nothing more. Yun Shen's tone softened. Rest easy now, leave everything to me. On the final day, groups of contestants rushed toward the teleport array. They complained while running exhausted. Ambushed, this week was hell. Suddenly, one sniffed and shouted, "Hey, what's that delicious smell?" Everyone stopped, staring at smoke rising amid the snow. They gawked at two tents, one man, one woman leisurely cooking gourmet Xuanlong dishes. The group stood frozen, feeling utterly insulted. Yun Shen calmly picked up a slice of meat, saying, "Come eat if you want, but bring your own chopsticks." The contestants roared, "Unfair! They'd suffered while he sat eating hot pot." Lu Yuling giggled, eyes sparkling, saying it wasn't a date, just rest. Everyone blushed with envy. National geniuses, living like on vacation during trials? Then, the teleport array flared bright, humming loudly. Yun Shen and Lu Yuling rose, eyes meeting. It was time to return. On the other side, another teleport gate activated simultaneously. In an instant, all contestants were swept into the light, vanishing. The overseer's voice echoed, "All prelims complete, top 100 submit recorders tonight, arena battles start tomorrow." Yun Shen asked calmly if the teleport from the extreme frost zone only led here. The staff nodded. It's a mandatory checkpoint for data verification. Yun Shen narrowed his eyes and reported dark cultists infiltrated the trials, led by Yao, all dual-classed. The supervisor's face changed, then he laughed. Dual-class cultists. Ridiculous! He sneered, saying no one could fool divine scanners. This was the Holy Empire, not a playground. Yun Shen's tone turned icy. Does he look like he's joking? Check them and see. The staff hesitated, doubting if true, they couldn't let any go, but how to trust mere words? Yun Shen smiled confidently, saying proof would come soon enough. The worker shouted for order. All contestants line up for result verification. Someone cursed loudly, another snapped for them to shut up and move. The supervisor strode over, barking, "Who's causing trouble? Want to be disqualified?" Suddenly, thorny vines sprouted from a few contestants, binding them as the crowd gasped. Parasites from plant beasts. They were the 3 Yun Shen defeated in the snowy wilds, now screaming in panic for it to stop. The supervisor growled, summoning monsters in the capital. "Arrest them for interrogation!" Security rushed in, restraining and escorting all 3 away. After testing, reports to Grand Marshal E.V. Keppa confirmed they were dark cultists with dual classes. V. Keppa's voice rumbled, "That's troubling news indeed." The supervisor said luckily, they were caught in time. Capturing Yao would end the descent order entirely. V. Keppa smiled warmly, though his eyes were cold. Good. Proceed, support will be sent. Great credit awaits. He frowned slightly, but kept smiling. Perhaps tonight deserved a celebratory drink. Scene shifted. Yun Shen and Lu Yuling chatting. She laughed, teasing him for letting the thorn vines latch on them on purpose. She added cheerfully, the trio had been caught, problem solved. Yun Shen smiled calmly. It was precaution with luck. Yao's out of tomorrow's match. He asked gently about her wounds and cursed. She sighed. Not yet. Third-turn healers were still saving others. Lu Yuling lowered her head, saying most rescued were elites from major nations, even top 5 seeds. Many were gravely injured or cursed, some likely dead, yet the Holy Empire called it normal losses. Absurd. Yun Shen pondered, the cultists must be behind it. But killing geniuses made no sense, at least their plans halted. Lu Yuling took out an item, smiling, "Junior, in withdrawing, take my points and give it your all." Yun Shen accepted, eyes firm. "I promise, Xuanlong Nation won't lose face." The next morning, the arena roared alive as the announcer welcomed everyone to the duel rounds. The announcer's voice boomed from thousands. Only the top 100 geniuses remain, and today's brutal duels will be broadcast worldwide. The crowd erupted as each contender strode out, shining like blazing stars. On the big screen, Yun Shen appeared. Dongyun Academy exploded in cheers. Teacher Zhan Sheng teared up with pride, and the dean nodded, calling it an honor to have taught him. Meanwhile, Teacher Bing Yan gritted his teeth in jealousy. Why didn't his class have a prodigy like that? The freshman's rank was nearly vice principal level now. At Zhongnan University, excitement surged. Students screamed that their school made global TV, while vendors shouted, grilled corn and cola combos taste better when cheering. In the crowd, Yunduang looked up proudly, eyes sparkling. That's my brother. The strongest of all. Not far away, the Nico family also watched the live broadcast intently. Her mother laughed, teasing that her daughter suddenly liked tournaments. Her father asked if that boy wasn't the one with her necklace. Nico blushed furiously, yelling for them to hush. She mumbled softly she was only watching to learn, definitely not because of him. Back in the arena, the energy blazed as the host announced it was time to reveal the ranking board. The crowd chanted together, "Show the ranks!" The screen lit up: Rank 1 Kingdom of Galatia and 2 Holy Empire Liao Khan Ti 3 Xuanlong Nation Yun Shen 4 White Eagle Empire 5 North Bear Kalofi Style. The stadium erupted. Who's that top one? A non-named small kingdom. Princess Lu only second.
Did this Yun Shen guy cheat?
Even Liu Yuling in the stands frowned, clenching her fists. How's he still on the list? Are the organizers blind? Meanwhile, LG the leader smirked under the lights. Haha, they panic already, and the real show hasn't even started. Behind him, a silent figure watched Yun Shen. His gaze was sharp as a blade, staring at the leader, thinking there could be only one reason he still appeared. Hopefully he was wrong. The commentator shouted, "The global battle arena officially begins. Higher ranks mean richer resources." As the signal sounded, the host urged the geniuses to fight for their nation's honor and treasure. Massive glowing spheres materialized amid roaring cheers, heating the atmosphere. Each orb absorbed a contestant, pairing them randomly and warping them to separate battlefields. Suddenly, Necromancer BA from Morenha sneered mockingly upon learning his first opponent was Yun Shen, the unadvanced rookie. He puffed his chest arrogantly, oozing superiority. Pointing straight at Yun Shen, he boasted the fight would end before his foe could even react. Instantly, legions of skeletons, death knights, and undead archers swarmed forth at his command. Yet Yun Shen only gave a cold smile, replying that ending it fast suited him too. In a flash, his figure vanished, slicing through the skeleton army faster than eyes could track. The necromancer froze, stammering and sweating, unable to comprehend his opponent's movement. Panicked, he darted his eyes around, thinking Yun Shen hid within his monster's shadows. Then, a chill blade touched his neck. Yun Shen was already behind him. Yun Shen whispered close, "Not their shadows, yours." The necromancer sighed, realizing the gap in power, and bitterly admitted defeat. Suddenly, shouts erupted. Someone possessed multiple classes. An impossible feat! A pitch-black orb radiated eerie energy, shocking the arena as whispers spread of the dual-class legend. All eyes turned to the center where the top-ranked LG emerged mysteriously. The audience gasped, seeing his dual-class and dark aura, cursing him as a vile heretic. Ignoring the outrage, LG laughed wildly, relishing the chaos he caused. He grinned arrogantly, declaring that unleashing full power was the ultimate thrill. His opponent, John the Holy Order Knight from the Ha, stepped forward, vowing to slay the arrogant cultist. But soon, John was on the defensive, tense and unable to locate his foe. As he turned, a cold blade touched his throat too fast to react. The outcome was clear. Even a genius like John couldn't withstand LG's brutal might. Moments later, he fell dead, the dark cultist smirking, treating life like dust. The crowd roared in fury, stunned that the Has prodigy was slain so mercilessly. The killer stepped on the corpse, eyes gleaming with twisted pride. He laughed maniacally, proclaiming that multi-class power was real, granted only to worshippers of the Supreme Lord. He then shouted he'd slaughter every top genius and spread fear across the world. His arrogance enraged the global audience, who screamed for other contestants to destroy him. At ICAP base, watchers debated. Some urged patience for their nation's champion, others were tempted by dual-class power. One man trembled, hating himself for even wanting that forbidden strength. Its allure was irresistible. Meanwhile, the organizers panicked, rushing to cut the broadcast before chaos spread. A blonde man sighed. LG had just declared war on all humanity. Hiding it would only spark more suspicion. The bald man barked back, "Let him continue. If he wins, humanity's spirit collapses." The blonde man realized this was the Descent Order's plot to shatter human faith through the tournament. He added that they aimed to flaunt dual-class power to lure the greedy and sow worldwide unrest. Still, they pinned their last hope on Princess Lu, the only one believed strong enough to stop LG. Meanwhile, LG grew ever more frenzied, each life taken driving him deeper into madness. He stomped on corpses and laughed scornfully, mocking all geniuses as weak and useless. Standing atop a fallen giant, he sneered that none deserved the title of prodigy, not even Oma or Hielski, now dead at his feet. The arena fell silent, then erupted in shock. No one believed top-tier talents could die so easily. His power far exceeded human limits. At the corner, Dia Ling clenched her fists in fury, muttering that if not for his deceit, she would have crushed him herself. On stage, LG lifted his head, eyes sharp, daring anyone brave enough to be his next victim. Suddenly, a fierce aura spiraled in, shaking the entire arena. Ji turned sharply, feeling a storm-like pressure closing in. It was Lu Gongzi, radiating blinding light. Each step made space tremble as she said coldly, "Long time no see, still as detestable as ever." The crowd erupted, cheering the princess of the Holy Empire, their final hope, humanity's shining faith. She stood at the arena's center, feeling the weight of the world's expectations, both fuel and burden. Behind her, black wings unfurled, majestic yet tinged with mystery. She smiled softly, eyes bright, promising she wouldn't betray their faith. But whispers rose in the stands. Those wings didn't look angelic. A girl snapped back angrily. True, she was an angel once, but that changed. The girl explained. During a dark ambush, the princess sacrificed her holy power to save her knights, trading light for shadow. Thus she gained a forbidden yet mighty force, rescuing everyone that day. The girl broke into tears, insisting only Lu Gongzi could bear this battle and win. Then, a young man shouted that there was one more name worth remembering. He mentioned Yun Shen, the nameless contender from Xuanlong, unbeaten, faster even than LG. Princess Leah's arrival made the commentators explode with excitement, calling it the early grand finale, light versus darkness. They urged the world to witness humanity's princess, the one destined to punish the dark heretic. The arena thundered with chants of "kill him," rolling like storms across the sky. Yet LG only scoffed, his voice icy. "How many must I kill before you all shut up?" At that moment, Lu Gongzi spread her black wings and soared, eyes sharp as blades locking onto him. She smiled faintly, voice soft but cutting. "To you, it's noise. To me, it's the sound of faith." With a twist of her hand, thousands of razor-black feathers rained down like a storm of steel. Ji summoned phantoms to block, but her assault overwhelmed him, forcing him back under the relentless barrage. From above, she spoke coldly. He only knew dirty tricks to eliminate the strong, and now he had nowhere left to run. She added with disdain, "Killing weaklings doesn't make you invincible. How pitiful." Determined to punish him, Lu Gongzi spread her wings, summoning a violent gale. The storm surged high, sweeping up corpses and even LG's body into a black vortex. The crowd gasped, praising the move. Even a third-turn expert couldn't endure believing the dark heretic was obliterated. Hovering midair, she stayed alert, eyes scanning for any sign of him. Suddenly, she froze. LG's figure had vanished. A hiss came from behind. "My precious princess, who are you looking for?" She spun around, but his blade was already descending. The dragon-severing slash struck hard, knocking her to the ground in dizziness. Bloodied but defiant, Lu Gongzi gritted her teeth and rose, breathing raggedly. Yet LG gave her no chance to recover. He lunged like an arrow, the crushing force barely missing her by inches. Quickly analyzing, she realized she had to maintain distance or be crushed instantly. But LG smirked. "You think I'm afraid? I just prefer to end this faster." He roared, unleashing crimson devouring wind eye, a vortex blazing like hellfire. The overwhelming pressure broke her strength, forcing her to her knees at the storm's heart. Ji grabbed her hair, voice cold, "Just minimizing risk, that's all." Blood dripping, she gasped, "That spells from a storm thunder magus. You have a third hidden class." He burst out laughing madly. "Correct, and your prize is meeting the Lord in eternal darkness." His cruelty made her tremble, eyes wide with horror. Behind her, a black void opened. She screamed, begging, "No, please don't." But he coldly hurled her into the abyss, ending the arena's last hope. The stands fell silent. Tens of thousands stared in disbelief as the princess vanished into darkness. Ji stood tall, laughing maniacally. "Silent now. Why not scream some more?" The audience trembled. Whispers broke out. "Impossible. She was so strong." Despair spread like plague. When the remaining contestants entered, just seeing LG made them shake uncontrollably. One burst into tears, running in panic. "I quit. I don't want to die. Let me out." Instantly others followed, crying, "Three hidden classes in one body. What if he has a fourth? Fighting him is suicide." Some collapsed in tears. "Even Princess Lu lost. What hope do we have?" The arena filled with cries and pleas for teleportation. No one dared fight. Watching their fear, LG roared with insane laughter, delighted by the terror consuming all. He sneered, "So these are humanity's so-called geniuses." His laughter chilled even those watching remotely. Despair spread as voices whispered, "The princess is gone. The world is finished." But just as hope was fading, someone shouted, pointing at the screen, "Look! Someone isn't afraid! Someone's stepping forward!" The commentator screamed with excitement. One remains unbowed, never yielding, ready to face the demon himself. On the screen, Yun Shen stepped forward, posture proud, eyes cold. His deep voice declared, "Time for this farce to end." The scene cut to the necro swamp, where decay filled the air and corpses lay in gray mist. There, three figures knelt before a regal woman whose gaze pierced souls, a Kun Cheng. Her voice was icy, "Hiding your base in a monster nest. No wonder no one found it. Xuanlong Nation has leveled all Descent Order bases. Any last words?" Elvis, the Grand Commander of Descent Order, roared in rage, "A Kun Cheng, you retired to be a professor. Why still hunt us?" She smiled faintly. "Who said professors can't catch rats, especially fat ones like you?" Her tone chilled. "Descent Order is finished, yet you still refuse to wake up." Elvis laughed maniacally. "You're the one blind to the truth, Hakun Cheng." He snarled, "Right now my son is showcasing the power of multiclasses, driving humanity to despair. When they crave power, they'll kneel as dark believers." He cackled, "Even if you destroy our HQ, in 3 years Descent Order will rise again, and your kind will be wiped out." But Akun Cheng remained calm, eyes sharp. "You're right if your son wins, but that condition won't be met so easily." At that moment, the big screen lit up, showing Yun Shen facing LG. Kun Cheng said softly, "Pity has about to meet an immovable mountain." Back in the arena, LG narrowed his eyes at Yun Shen, arrogant still curling his lips. "G," roared Yun Shen. "I gave you chances to live, yet you come to die. Come then, I'll grant your wish." Yun Shen smirked really. "Funny, I don't recall ever owing you my life." He exhaled lightly, gaze resolute. "That's why I'm here to return everything you've given." In a blink, Yun Shen vanished, darting like wind to rescue an injured contestant from danger. Ji froze, wide-eyed. His foe was behind him again, panic rising. Yun Shen strode calmly forward. "Those who fell weren't as strong as you, but they never bowed." His eyes turned to ice. "But you, who kneel to darkness, will never understand that." With a turn, Yun Shen unleashed a Hydra Monarch technique. Tiny whirlwinds erupted around LG as he spoke firmly. "Defeat comes to all, but some fall with honor." The arena exploded in cheers at the fierce counterattack. Voices whispered, "That's Yun Shen? No fame, but what presence!" Hope flickered amid despair. Hearing it, LG clenched his fists, furious. "He dares make them hope again?" He bellowed. "Then my favorite thing is crushing that hope!" Instantly, he cast Dragon Slayer's Surge, hurling Crimson Impact straight at Yun Shen. Yet Yun Shen stood unfazed, then suddenly vanished from sight. Ji gritted his teeth. "Going again just like before." In that instant, Yun Shen reappeared from the void, trident glowing, lunging at LG like lightning. His voice was cold. "You should be confused, because every dark believer who's seen this move is already dead." Yun Shen unleashed a fusion combo, Spearman Sweep, Berserker Rage. Relentless strikes left LG gasping. As LG tried to fly, Yun Shen cast a fusion of True Fire Orb and Storm Magic, forming a world-shaking infernal tempest. Ji roared and poured all his strength into a thunderstorm burst to resist. The two forces clashed, exploding in blinding light that shook the arena. Ji hovered, drenched in sweat, while Yun Shen stood calm below, steady as a mountain. Suddenly, the thunderstorm burst backfired, spiraling straight into him. The backlash made LG scream as his body plummeted from the sky. He crashed hard, pale-faced, mumbling, "Impossible, how could my high attributes be pierced head-on?" Yun Shen rushed forward, trident raised for the finishing blow, but the Dark Zealot wasn't that easy to kill. Ji activated Multiphantom Mirage. Instantly, countless clones appeared, surrounding Yun Shen in chaotic illusions. The crowd gasped, "That's the Phantom Hunter's skill! Even the princess once fell for it!" Ji laughed triumphantly. "Kid, you've lost! In this illusion, you won't even know when you die!" Yet Yun Shen stood firm, eyes steady, breathing calm like a rock in a storm. Each clone that lunged was shattered by his precise, ruthless inch punches and forbidden strikes. Yun Shen said coldly, "Destroying each illusion just shows me exactly how your real death will look." He then spotted the real body and struck clean, felling LG despite the mirage's strength. The crowd leapt up, cheering. The Dark Zealot crushed like sand. Yun Shen was simply overwhelming. Some thought LG dead, others feared his revival. Yun Shen only stared coldly at the twitching body. Beneath him, LG sneered hoarsely, "I bear the blessing of 172 demons, my flesh immortal, killing me is a dream." Before he could finish, Yun Shen leapt and unleashed a storm of kicks that cracked the ground, pulverizing LG's body. He growled, "If I can't kill you, I'll grind you to ash," as his blows made heaven and earth quake. In agony, madness flared in LG's eyes, burning with hate. He roared, "Damn it! This game isn't over!" Suddenly, magma erupted from below, blasting Yun Shen backward. Ji floated up slowly, voice icy. "Kid, you still don't get what's happening." Yun Shen looked up, wary. LG no longer felt human. The Dark One laughed madly. "I fused 2 War God essences, now my body holds 3 merged hidden classes." He hissed, "You're just a low-grade copy of me! Don't even dream of matching me!" At once, he combined the powers of Phantom Hunter, Dragon Slayer Warrior, and Storm Thunder Mage, engulfing the arena in spiraling light. He sneered, "Yun Shen, you were never even worth my notice!" Boom! The arena exploded, swallowed by a blinding sea of light. Still not done, he roared and unleashed piercing spear assault, raining brutal destruction. The raging energy shattered earth and stone, cracking the ground to ruin. The terrifying sight left the audience breathless. 3 hidden classes at once. Was he even human? Fear rippled through the arena. On the stage, LG regained control, laughing wildly. "This is true power! Only the Dark Realm can grant it!" Amid the rubble, Yun Shen lay buried, motionless in the choking dust. Ji seized the moment, diving down with a death scythe aim to finish him. But light burst forth, the strike stopped by a fierce counterforce from Yun Shen. From the smoke, Yun Shen emerged reborn, gripping a radiant sword, standing tall before LG with overwhelming aura. Ji staggered back, screaming, "Impossible! How did you block that?" Yun Shen replied coolly, "You like attribute games. Fine, I'll play your way." He pressed a hand to LG's head, making him tremble and convulse in terror. Then Yun Shen snapped his fingers, hurling the freak hundreds of meters away with a scream echoing through the arena. Ji fell into a bloody heap, eyes still blazing with defiance. Seeing this, Yun Shen said coldly he'd give him a few more unforgettable lessons. At first, LG tried to fight back, barely holding under the crushing pressure. But next strikes stunned him. The sword of Yun Shen blazed, merging 3 skills into a fatal blow that shook the stands. The blast swept LG clean off the ring, leaving him flattened and powerless. When the dust cleared, the crowd gaped. The final arena itself was shattered beyond belief. Though nearly unconscious, Delg stubbornly rose, trembling, eyes still burning with hatred. He roared, humiliated that even with war god power had lost. Yun Shen stepped forward calmly, saying, "You still don't get it, it's all about push-ups." At those words, LG's face went pale, confusion and fear taking over. Yun Shen lifted him by the neck, eyes icy, asking who now was the one that couldn't die. Yet LG laughed, boasting the demon lord's blessing, his organs crushed, but he wouldn't die, and mocked Yun Shen for exceeding mortal limits. Yun Shen smirked coldly, replying only, "Is that so?" Without hesitation, he fused magic power, conjuring fire orbs and blazing flames straight into LG's chest. In an instant, the arena became a volcano, lava swallowing the screaming LG whole. Then, through the green smoke, both figures blurred and vanished into a storm of raging energy. In the stands, chaos erupted. Some shouted to kill, others doubted. One belief united them: burn him to nothing. The chants grew wilder, demanding Yun Shen incinerate his foe until not even ash remained. After the deadly battle, Yun Shen's golden hair was sinned, eyes still cold amid the searing heat. He gasped for breath, returning to his normal self, drained by the backlash of the tenfold cycle power. Still, he smiled faintly, thinking even ordinary men could beat him now, as long as it was finally over. Below, the crowd roared in triumph at the sight of LG lying still, pride exploding like fire. The cry of hero thundered through the stands. Humanity had won, and Yun Shen was its new hope. Just then, a spectator froze, pointing at the screen, stammering, "Wait, did his hand just move?" Panic spread as people shouted, "What?" Everyone fell silent. He was moving. While Yun Shen was exhausted, Lao Yaoling's face darkened. Ego sat up laughing smugly, mocking that such petty flames couldn't burn him. Yun Shen raised a brow, replying, "You underestimate my fire. It burns even immortal souls." He declared that while the body might endure, Ego's soul was nearly consumed in the blaze. Ego's eyes bulged, fading consciousness, screaming in fury as his body crumbled beyond control. In his final thought, he swore that if he died, Yun Shen would fall too. The bane of the dark world must perish. Lo Yaoling stared in disbelief, shocked he could still move. Suddenly LG murmured a prayer, "Great demon lord, accept my final offering." At once, a massive vortex of black energy surged behind Yun Shen, shaking the entire arena. Ego screamed, chanting backward to unleash the ultimate seal on his target. Yun Shen instantly recognized it as Divine Flash, realizing the madman's final gamble. Cracks echoed from his neck as he gritted his teeth, body straining under the violent surge. He understood the foe had bound their souls. This was a deathlock spell with no escape. In that desperate moment, Lo Yaoling leapt from the stands, pulling him towards safety. She gasped, shouting, "Junior, that was too close, you almost got hit." Yun Shen warned grimly, "President, get back! My soul-tracing seal is active, it's about to blow." The moment he spoke, black energy erupted, spiraling to engulf him completely. A gaping dark pit split open in the arena floor, like a doorway to the abyss. The stands fell silent, no one dared breathe. Ego laughed madly, "Ha! No matter how strong you are, I've won in the end." He sneered, "All humans who fall into the dark world share one fate, torn apart by demons." Below, furious spectators roared, cursing the dark realm for stealing victory. Only Ruke sat frozen, eyes brimming with tears, whispering, "No, how could it end like this?" Old Yi slammed the table, shouting, "What's the committee doing? Where are the fourth-turn powerhouses?" Suddenly, Ms. Li came running, shouting, "Headmaster! Something catastrophic is happening!" At that instant, the Academy Plaza trembled, time warped, trees and buildings rotted away, injuring dozens. Screams rang out, Yuntang's energy just erupted. "Stay back, anyone near her turns to ash!" Amid the chaos, someone yelled, "Who is that girl?" While Yuntang wept uncontrollably, her mind unraveling. Elsewhere, Elvic smirked at Miss Sha, saying, "See, humanity's genius is dead, our era begins." Miss Shai's face darkened, eyes glinting with killing intent. Ziyu beside her understood and lashed out with chains, shouting, "Still laughing, are you?" He growled, "Go on, let's see if you can keep that mouth open now." Just then, Xiaolang crept closer, voice trembling, "Master Yunhe," Sha Kuncheng said calmly, eyes firm, "has only been sent to the dark realm. Has not dead, no hardship can crush him." As soon as the black mist engulfed him, everything around Yun Shen twisted out of shape. He woke up in a strange world, filled with chilling, oppressive darkness. Liu Ling had been dragged through the vortex too, both crashing to the ground after a dizzying fall. She looked around, trembling. "So this is the dark world." Yun Shen nodded, eyes scanning the gloom. It matched Teacher Shai's description exactly. Suddenly, a piercing scream echoed, putting them both on alert. Liu Ling collapsed, clutching her chest in unbearable agony. Yun Shen froze, cursing, "Damn it, the dark aura was toxic, only he could resist it." He caught her, gripping her hand, saying firmly, "President, hang on, I'm here." Gritting her teeth, Liu Ling drank a green vial and activated a basic purification spell. With Yun Shen's help, the black energy inside her faded, her breathing steadied. While aiding her, he calculated his mana barely enough for a few minor spells, even with potions. Then a strange sound came from behind. Yun Shen turned, sensing killing intent. A trembling demonkin appeared, shrieking, "Humans! We're doomed! Call the guard lord!" Yun Shen blinked, muttering, "What the hell is that?" Liu Ling warned, "Don't let it escape." He shook his head calmly. "Stay your hand, we're not ready for a fight." He pulled out another vial, preparing for the worst. After downing 3 in a row, he said gravely, "The dark aura here is endless, purification only delays it. You must adapt fast or be corroded." Liu Ling inhaled deeply, eyes resolute. "Got it. A bit of dark air won't break me." She roared, "You won't consume me!" At once, pure light burst from her body, sweeping away the darkness around them. Yun Shen exclaimed joyfully, "It worked." She smiled, explaining, "My final element is yin-yang. Yin aligns with darkness, letting me neutralize the toxin." Yun Shen nodded warily, voice low, "Still, don't relax yet, the danger's far from over." The surrounding demonkin screamed, "Filthy humans! Offer them to the dark god! Kill them all!" They surged forward in waves. Yun Shen narrowed his eyes, murmuring, "Weak ones first or second rank, but I'm drained, and you're still hurt. We'll need to plan." Before he finished, Liu Ling hoisted him onto her back, laughing as she sprinted. "Plan. We run, of course! Hold tight, Junior!" The demonkin howled, chasing with golden blasts, shouting, "Running! You can't escape! Catch them!" Liu Ling yelled, "Long-range attacks? Huh? Fine! Watch my movement skills! Hold on tight!" Carrying him, she zigzagged through every strike, making Yun Shen grin awkwardly. "Senior, your fundamentals are rock solid." Just as he spoke, she slipped, nearly tumbling midair as they wobbled dangerously. Still staggering, she kept running, sweat and blood mixing, making Yun Shen choke out, "President, you're covered in wounds." She just laughed weakly, panting, "Just scratches and we've arrived." Yun Shen blinked. "Arrived where?" Liu Ling skidded to a halt before a dark cave, pointing, "Here." He gawked. "Who'd even find a place this hidden?" She turned, voice hoarse, "I'm out of strength. You hide inside, don't come out. I'll hold them off." Yun Shen stumbled into the cave, body utterly drained. Gasping, he muttered, "Damn, as long as we hold the entrance, this place is safe." But he frowned, realizing the flaw. The president guarding the entrance had no room to retreat. He called out, "If you can't hold, fall back! Don't push yourself!" She laughed, "Retreating isn't really my style." Tightening her grip on her weapon, eyes blazing, she declared, "This battle we fight to the end." Waves of demonkins swarmed, unleashing spells, mind torture, oblivion break, blood surge. She braced herself, countering with a surge of crimson light that flared amid the dark storm. But her strength waned, her body trembling under the crushing onslaught. Blood dripped from her lips as she thought, "Damn it, this flame isn't enough to burn them." Inside, Yun Shen clenched his fists, shouting, "President, don't! I can't move yet, need the weakness to end." Liu Ling glanced back, smiling faintly, as expected from my junior, still calm and clever. Feeling her mana plummet, she muttered, "Fine then, close combat it is." She activated Blood Howl Skyclaw, her body glowing with fierce red light. The demonkin screamed, "Humans must die! If they live, they'll destroy us!" hissed Zikoda. Liu Ling charged in rage, "Don't twist the truth! You monsters deserve extermination!" Her claws ripped through the air, each clash shaking the ground and scattering debris. Exhausted, she panted, scolding herself, "Beaten up by low-levels, what a disgrace." The demonkin trembled, whispering, "She's still fighting, could she be immortal?" She smiled softly, "Not immortal, just someone I must protect. Has strong, limitless potential. If he lives, humanity has hope." The demons roared, "No one leaves alive!" Liu Ling smiled weakly at Yun Shen. "Junior, I can't hold much longer, stall them, you can do it." A demon swung its blade, steel flashing. At that instant, Yun Shen burst out, blocking the strike. He shouted, "No, our fight isn't over yet." Liu Ling gasped, "Junior, your weakness is over already." He shook his head, "No, 3 seconds left, but that's enough." The demonkin panicked, "Impossible! Kill him! Don't let the human live!" Yun Shen clenched his fists, fusing Fire Orb and Impact Fist, waiting for the final second to strike. When the countdown hit 0, he unleashed Infernal Flame Fist, a surge of blue fire wiping out every foe. As smoke cleared, he helped Liu Ling back into the cave. She sighed, "Finally over." Yun Shen replied, "Not yet." Pointing at the black mark on his neck, he said grimly, "Those weren't random. If I don't dispel this soul-tracking seal, worse will come." He poured some green potion over the mark, hoping to weaken its reaction. Gazing toward the cave mouth, Yun Shen murmured, "Something out there's watching us, it's not just the tracking aura." Soon, 2 more demonkin crept near the cave, eyes wary and searching. The one in green sniffed, "The tracking mark ends here, humans must be nearby." The one in white knelt, trembling, "My lord, I swear I speak truth, the target truly hides here." The demon lord roared, "By your word, it must be Yun Shen, but has concealed the mark. The trail stops here." The white-clad one panicked, "Has he escaped already?" The demon lord narrowed his eyes coldly, "Impossible. Ahead lies the forbidden divine range, even the 7 great devils can't enter, let alone humans." He smirked cruelly, "Let them run. They're only walking toward death." Meanwhile, Yun Shen and Liu Ling had ventured deep into an abandoned village, unaware danger was closing in. Inside, Yun Shen kept training, every move sharp despite his exhaustion. Liu Ling chuckled, "You're really that diligent, still doing basics even in the dark world." Yun Shen replied, "Body training is the foundation, skip a day, lose a lifetime." He thought silently the battle championship rewards had transferred to a special crafting space, allowing item upgrades and energy expansion. Top cultivators used such spaces as mobile bases. Even teacher Shia's vault came from one. And the boundary-breaking stone in his hand was priceless. It could push equipment past normal limits. Yunshen smiled faintly. Seems luck's finally on my side. Yet the blank blueprint that came with it puzzled him. Likely a custom system artifact, ranked based on materials used. As he pondered, Lu Yuling called, "Hey Junior, what's got you so deep in thought? Breakfast time?" She set down some frozen beast meat, grinning. "Good thing we had leftovers, or we'd starve. You did great finding this hidden village." Yunshen nodded. "Ruined as it is, better than camping in the open. But strange, no overseers in a major tournament, and LG had a forbidden item. Something's off." Lu Yuling cut him off. "Enough. No proof, just suspicions for now," she said sternly. "Right now, survival comes first." Yunshen was silent for a moment, then murmured, "You already know the truth, President, you just don't want to admit it." She took a deep breath. "Eat up, then we move." As they walked, Lu Yuling asked, "Is this really your destination? This place gives me bad vibes." Before them loomed a towering mountain range wreathed in suffocating black mist. Yunshen replied softly, "Scary or not, it's the only way forward. Going back means death. Chaos reigns behind us." He continued, "I scouted the area, no life for thousands of miles. Supplies too low to circle around. We can only go through. But strange that mountain's aura feels familiar." Lu Yuling touched the green barrier ahead. Crackling sparks made her flinch. She said grimly, "It's unnaturally hard, seems unbreakable. We're trapped." Yunshen replied, "Let me try a skill." The moment his fingers brushed it, the barrier tore open on its own, leaving him stunned. A gaping black hole appeared, leading deep into the mountain. Lu Yuling asked anxiously, "Junior, what did you do?" He answered, bewildered, "Nothing, it opened by itself. Looks like there's a passage below." They both jumped in cautiously. The cavern below left Lu Yuling speechless, eyes wide in shock. She stammered, "Are those coffins? What's inside them?" As she reached to touch one, Yunshen quickly stopped her. He warned, "Don't. My instincts say whatever's inside must never be touched." A strange feeling welled in him, something both familiar and terrifying. Could it be someone he once knew, or was he himself tied to this place? He shuddered. "No, this feeling is too terrifying. We can't stay here." Turning sharply, he ordered, "We're leaving. Now." Lu Yuling watched him go. Stunned, it was the first time she'd seen Yunshen's emotions waver so violently. Meanwhile, the demon lord had tracked their trail to the forbidden zone. Seeing the torn space, his face went pale, cold sweat dripping. "Impossible, the barrier's broken." Rubbing his eyes, "The rift remained. No! This is sacred ground. Who dares break it?" He recalled the ancient legend of a vast mountain range that fell from the heavens in divine light, overturning heaven and earth. The shockwave had wiped out all life for thousands of miles, leaving the land barren for decades. Only a god could have done it, and that act was a warning forbidding all intrusion. But if this truly was a divine ruin, then for the 72 high demons, it was the ultimate prize. He remembered many demon lords had tried breaching it for decades, all failing miserably. Now that it was broken, it was beyond his control. He must report to Lord Duan Yi Mi Shi Jai at once. Meanwhile, Yunshen and Lu Yuling had left the cave, camping in the forest for the night. While cooking, Lu Yuling suddenly exclaimed, "Ah, the last curse is gone! Junior, we might finally plan our return." Seeing Yunshen silent, she called softly, "Junior." He startled from deep thought and turned to her. She asked gently, "What's wrong? Ever since those coffins, you've been distant. Still thinking about them or homesick?" Yunshen nodded slightly, a bit of both, mostly worried about Yuntang. Deep down, he couldn't shake the image of the coffins, but without clues, he set it aside. He thought, returning isn't impossible. I still have the cross of rebirth. If I die, maybe I'll respawn in the human world. Then he shook his head. That's just theory. If I respawn here instead, I'm done for, and abandoning the president would be cowardly. Finally, he told her, "President, I plan to scout the demon city for intel. Stay here and wait for me." Lu Yuling's eyes widened. "You're going alone into a demon city? Are you suicidal?" Yunshen smiled. "I won't go as a human." He activated his disguise skill. His skin turned gray, eyes glowing crimson. Smirking, he said, "This infiltration should be a breeze." Soon Yunshen entered the bustling demon frontier city. On the streets, many glanced his way. Some whispered, "Hey, that looks like a Dark Knight demon, but maybe a half-blood." Watching quietly, Yunshen realized, though of another race, the demons lived much like humans, just more brutal. Scanning around, he saw no trace of technology. So, no science here, or maybe this region's just too remote. Deciding swiftly, he muttered, "Fastest way to get info, a tavern." Entering, the barkeep looked up with a polite grin. "Honored Dark Knight demon, what'll you have?" Yunshen ordered a few local dishes. Taking a seat in the corner, he quietly observed and waited. Activating his ancient hunter skill, he expanded his senses, listening across the room. Voices overlapped chaotically. "Damn the Lord. Drafted my kid only 16. Heard that brat Lotta hit mid-rank demon already. Crazy stuff." Yunshen frowned, thinking he needed a finer filter for all this nonsense. Just then, the clerk served chilled demon tentacles and swamp bubbles. He glanced at nearby demons gambling. Glad Ye knew Zun's disguise skill worked well. The clerk handed the bill, 3 demon crystals. Yun Shen silently thanked the language system for translating. He paid, relieved that the demons he'd slain earlier dropped these crystal coins. Seems that's local currency. Staring at the bizarre dishes, he grimaced, hoping his stomach wouldn't revolt. After eating, he muttered while leaving, "Tastes fine until you know where it came from." Still, he smiled. The trip yielded valuable intel. Rumor said the dark world functioned independently, powered solely by demonic energy, unlike the human game-linked realm. Thus, no technology here. Its power ranks were lower, middle, upper demons, and demon lords matching human first to fourth rebirth tiers. High-ranked demons were called overlords, each with their own domain, and the 72 demon princes ruled all. For now, Yun Shen knew only that much. His sea god idol's energy was low, and the soul seal had to be handled soon. Suddenly, chaos erupted. Guards of the Overlord came to draft people for battle, causing panic and desperate pleas. A reed-haired demon roared, "Run! Fighting for the Overlord is an honor! Be proud to die for him!" But one captive screamed back, "If it's so glorious, why don't you go die?" The soldiers noticed Shen standing still, sneering, "That kid's frozen. Grab him." Yun Shen calmly replied, "No need, I'll go myself," spotting a new opportunity. Soon, they were marched to Locker City. Yun Shen blended in, quietly observing. The redhead whispered to a yellow-robed man, "P.S. Lord, why come personally?" The yellow robe said coldly, "The Overlord's away. I'll inspect the recruits. Begin." Instantly, the redhead strode to the center, voice booming with authority. "Congrats, lowly worms, you're now warriors. Kneel and swear loyalty to the Overlord." A blue-haired demon snapped, "We're forced. I want die as cannon fodder." The redhead stomped him brutally, a warning to all. The soldiers trembled, whispering, "So cruel, he just talked back once." Redhead sneered, "You know why I train you. The strong command, the weak kneel." Everyone dropped to their knees except Yun Shen, who stood firm, eyes icy. The redhead exploded, pointing, "You, why aren't you kneeling?" Yun Shen coolly said, "Because you're not worth bowing to." The redhead laughed, "Not worth it. You dare insult the strongest here. Who are you?" A soldier reported, "Captain, his name's Wu Ji, new recruit, looks like an outsider." The redhead turned to the yellow robe, "Short on men or not, killing a few restores order, right?" The yellow robe replied coldly, "Do it." The redhead smirked, "Perfect, he won't even have time to beg. Hang his corpse at the gate." Before he finished, Yun Shen kicked him square in the face. The kick shattered his teeth. He rolled away, eyes wide in disbelief that a rookie floored him. Without giving him a breath, Yun Shen unleashed his divine weapon, murderous aura flooding the air. Lifting the redhead off the ground, Yun Shen said coldly, "Clearly, the strongest here isn't you." Then he hurled him down hard, shaking the ground. Green mist coiled around the corpse. Soldiers gawked. Was their captain truly dead? He hadn't even resisted, despite being a high-tier upper demon. Seeing Yun Shen approach, the yellow-robed deacon backed off, realizing this guy must be a disguised upper demon with dangerous intent. The deacon tried to flee and report, but Yun Shen blocked him with chilling calm. Trembling, the man stammered meaningless words of terror. Yun Shen smirked, "By your logic, strength is everything, so if I kill you, I gain your power, right?" The deacon dropped to his knees, pleading, "Him just a lowly servant. Spare me, my lord." Yun Shen said coldly, "Fine, your life's useful. From now on, you obey only me, understood?" The man nodded frantically. Yun Shen then ordered the demons to return, thinking fewer drafted meant fewer deaths. They knelt in gratitude. Late at night, in a gloomy room of Locker City, Yun Shen read intently. The yellow robe asked cautiously, "My lord, why so many books?" Curious, he peeked. Just mundane stuff. Why was Yun Shen studying them so hard? Yun Shen snapped the book shut, eyes cold. "Too many questions. Wanna die?" The man paled and bowed. He resumed reading, noting the Overlord's archives detailed over 100 demon races, with 72 ruling clans. Turns out demons too fought over land and resources until the Void Demon appeared. No one knew his origin. He appeared suddenly and united the Dark World within 3 years through sheer might. He then divided it into 72 nations, ruled by the strongest clans, thus the current order. Thanks to his treaty, wars ceased until 70 years ago when humans tore through space, invading and slaughtering demons. Yun Shen frowned. How could humans invade at all? Even crossing borders should be impossible. He realized the records were altered. Someone had tampered with history, right when the human world merged with the game system. Suspicious. He asked the yellow robe, "Baha, what do you think of humans?" Baha growled, "They're vile, killed my comrades, destroyed our peace." Yun Shen pressed, "So you've seen one yourself?" Baha nodded, "Yes, cruel monsters. Kill on sight." Yun Shen mused, "So demons fear humans this much? Clearly, truth and legend don't match." Suddenly, the system chimed, "Mission stage 1 complete, become a demon lord. Huge XP reward." Yun Shen smiled, intrigued. He asked Baha coldly, "What's required to become a demon lord?" His gaze made the demon shiver, suspecting hidden schemes. Yun Shen's aura chilled the air. Baha trembled and answered, "One must bear the Black Mara bloodline. This is their territory, one of the 72 great demonic clans." Yun Shen raised a brow, curiosity gleaming. "So, by your view, do I qualify?" Baha nodded frantically, voice trembling. Perfectly, my lord, your body may seem small, but your Black Mara blood is purer than any. Yun Shen closed his eyes, thinking, the Black Empress was their supreme leader with shapeshifting, this won't be hard. He asked again, any other conditions? Ba bowed, you must slay the current overlord and seize his royal relic. Yun Shen smirked coldly, good. After serving him so long you must be sick of loyalty, aren't you? Suddenly, the gates of Shi Luke burst open, dust billowing as the earth trembled violently. From the fog charged a blazing red bull, horns gleaming like blades, aura fierce and wild. Atop it sat the demon overlord Baudet, swirling a glass of crimson fire wine. His eyes swept the stiff soldiers, sensing turmoil. Something was definitely wrong. A trembling soldier knelt, reporting, my lord, the captain's dead, killed by an outsider demon. Baudet roared like an inferno. What? Where is he? I'll crush him myself. The soldier pointed fearfully. He's inside, waiting for you. Baudet stormed in, smashing the doors open, murderous aura blazing. Inside, Yun Shen lounged calmly on his throne, gaze shimmering with disdain. He smiled evenly. Nice chair, mind if I borrow it for a few more days? Baudet trembled with fury, eyes blazing red, yanking out a massive bat-leaks. You want to die? He swung it, wind shrieking, as the blade tore through the air like lightning. Yet Yun Shen sat unfazed, utterly calm. He lifted his scepter slightly, tapping the floor, voice laced with icy mockery. Such a fine weapon, wasting it on a fight seems sad. Baudet bellowed, lunging, get off! That's my throne, you're unworthy to touch it! Yun Shen lifted his gaze, eyes glacial, catching the axe blow flawlessly. Then he sprang up, unleashing a flurry of strikes so fast Baudet couldn't counter. Blows thundered like explosions. The clash of two upper demons shook the hall. The soldiers outside froze, too terrified to enter, awed by power beyond comprehension. When Yun Shen slammed his scepter down decisively, Baudet barely raised his axe to block. The impact sent him flying backward, tumbling across the stone floor. He gave a rasping laugh. Did expect such strength from a runt like you, amusing? Baudet roared, his arm mutating into a giant violetred claw. Kid, you dared block my strike. The claw lunged forward, bursting with terrifying energy of absorption. Instantly, refined flames flared around Yun Shen, light dazzling across the room. Baudet laughed maniacally, thinking victory his, ha-ha! Perfect, pray let your power flow into me! Yun Shen frowned, feeling his energy siphoned as the enemy surged. So that's the Demon King's relic. Baudet sneered, know this, my devourer hand steals not just power, but life itself. He hurled a massive fireball, spell it exploded with force that shook the air. Yet as it neared Yun Shen, the flames flickered weakly, like a candle before the wind. Yun Shen calmly waved his hand, brushing the fire aside effortlessly. Baudet's eyes bulged, hoarse scream impossible. The guards trembled, whispering, has equal to the overlord. That fireball looked pathetic. Yun Shen said coldly, stealing skills too. Impressive, but mine would burn you alive. He activated the Mage Swordsman fusion flame, and blade merged into the strike soul-devouring cloudfire. The blow hit. Baudet screamed, body charred, smoke rising thickly. He thrashed, roaring, damn you! Don't get cocky yet! Yun Shen vanished with phantom step, sneering, steal again if you can't touch me, that hand's just junk. Then he soared upward, unleashing void split slash, a blade tearing the air itself. The sword struck Baudet's body, convulsed, then collapsed. The guards outside froze in shock. One whispered, he lost. Lord Baudet actually lost. Suddenly a guard dropped to his knees, trembling, all hail our new overlord, Lord Wu Ji. Instantly, the whole squad knelt, shouting in unison, hail Lord Wu Ji. Yun Shen gazed coldly at Baudet's corpse, thinking, so this is a demon lord's strength. Aside from the relic, he was pitiful. Standing in the grand hall, he let the guards bow, feeling the weight of new supremacy. Yun Shen picked up the Demon King relic, Devourer's hand, the Black Mara's legendary treasure boosting strength, speed, and power theft. He admired it, thinking, a legendary-grade relic like this would be a top-tier artifact even in the human realm. From now on, my fusion skills can steal and merge mid-battle. This will create unimaginable power. Yun Shen eyed a nearby guard skeptically. How could Baudet be so weak with such a relic? Are demon lords really this frail? The guard bowed, voice cautious. You misunderstand, my lord. Baudet wasn't weak. Our whole Black Mara clan has decayed. He continued, 3 years ago, a human woman broke through the void, slaughtering across realms. Her base camp was right in our territory. His eyes dimmed with old fear. I was just a sentry then, didn't even dare breathe loud. He shuddered, recalling, that woman was ice cold. Her gaze held no emotion. To her, demons were weeds. One gesture, and thousands burned to ash. She truly did it. His voice shook. In 3 days, our nation was massacred. 15 lords dead, 3 demon monarchs slain. Even the great Hye Nuzun fell. The last 2 lords surrendered. Yun Shen smirked faintly, sighing, teacher Xia really was unstoppable, slaughtering the dark world alone. The guard bowed lower. Luckily, a mighty demon later repelled her, else the Black Mara clan would be gone. Yun Shen said coolly, half mocking, so the strong died off, and you propped up weaklings like Baudet to fill ranks. The guard sighed, worried. Yes, once ranked 60th of 72 clans, now we're scraping the bottom. He hesitated. Still, my lord, the conscription order was universal. We only followed it. Please, restore the old system. Yun Shen pointed aside, firm voice, no need. From today, no more drafts, half the taxes, lev freely, no one fights unless they choose. The demon guards blanched, panicking, that's rebellion. Defying the war order against humans is treason, you'll be punished, my lord. Yun Shen's eyes narrowed, voice like steel, are you defying my command? The guard jolted, dropping to his knees. No, my lord, it'll carry it out immediately. Yun Shen waved his hand, opening a glowing info panel, murmuring, not planning to stay here long, just finish the quest and leave. He smirked, feeling power surge, level 4344 systems being generous today. Massive XP flooded in, muscles buzzing with strength 6 levels gained, body brimming with energy. He squinted at the mission tab, stage 1 complete. Now let's see how spicy stage 2 gets. Suddenly he froze, a strange intuition sparking in his mind. His gaze fixed on the system screen, sequential mission stage 1 complete, reward granted. Stage 2 unlocked. Yun Shen chuckled coldly, so it's part 2 huh? You sure know how to mess with people, system. Suddenly, a bright voice chirped behind him. Wow, my lord, you're so impressive! Li Yaoling entered, eyes sparkling as she admired the grand hall, smiling. Just a few days and you're already a lord beloved by demons too. Amazing. Yun Shen walked in right after her, the hall instantly growing solemn under his heavy aura. A guard approached and bowed. My lord, how should we address the human lady you brought back? Li Yaoling's face darkened at the word slave. Yun Shen glanced her way and said curtly, call her Xiaoling Zi. She's not a slave, she's my attendant. The guard nodded obsequiously. Truly generous of you, my lord. Also, in 10 days, we must audit all war supplies for delivery. Yun Shen raised a brow, amused. Inventory check. Sounds fun. I'll take a look. The group entered a massive armory lined with gleaming weapons and towering steel dragons like divine statues. Li Yaoling gawked. Heavens, this place is like a mid-tier nation's treasury! Yun Shen nodded slightly. Baha, stand guard outside, I don't want interruptions. Baha bowed. Yes, my lord. Li Yaoling glanced around, whispering, what are you planning with all this? These are weapons for war against humans. Yun Shen smirked, simple, clear it out so no one can use them. He waved his hand, a surge of black light rose, swallowing the entire armory into a void vortex. Li Yaoling gasped, no way! That much stuff, how can you store it all? You don't even have expanded space functions! Yun Shen chuckled, watching the black swirl, absorb some spatial crystals, expanded my storage dozens of times. 10 armories like this, no problem. He suddenly stopped, eyes locking on a neon blue glow deep in the vault, curiosity igniting. Closing his eyes, he activated Divine Observation Eye. Data flooded his mind. Demonic Obliteration Cannon, ultimate Black Mara weapon, requires 1000 strength, 15-second charge before firing. Yun Shen grinned, nice toy. Bit of a pain to charge, but for that kind of firepower, worth it. Li Yaoling eyed him curiously. Little junior, what's your next move? Don't tell me you plan to stay here as a lord. Yun Shen replied calmly, no. My next goal is to become one of the 72 demon pillars. The system screen flared. Stage 2 quest, become a demon pillar of the 72. Rewards mobile domain, blank blueprint, unique accessory. Li Yaoling gasped, voice rising, what? One of the 72 pillars? Are you insane? She frowned, tone grave, even with your talent, that would take years. Yun Shen just smiled mildly. Normally yes, but the Black Mara clan's in ruins. Teacher Xia wiped out their foundation, all their demon lords are dead. He continued, only 3 false lords hold power now, and they're weaker than Bo Di was. His eyes gleamed. Those 3 are fighting for dominance, endless civil war among them. He paused, a sly grin forming. I don't need to be a demon monarch to seize a pillar seat. If I control the clan, I'll have resources to forge one. Baha said their decisive battle is in a year. I'll step into that game. Li Yaoling closed her eyes. Worried? You'll join that war. We still don't know how to return home. Yun Shen turned, gaze sharp. I've got clues. But tell me, after all your guild's effort getting here, would you really go back empty-handed? Li Yaoling fell silent, face thoughtful. After a moment, she sighed, no, I wouldn't. At least we can make it count. If demons kill each other, humanity's front line will ease. But this burden on you is heavy. They left the armory at the gate. Baha still stood guard upright. Yun Shen ordered coolly, inventory's done, lock it up. Baha hurried over, bowing, yes, my lord. But as he opened the door, he froze stiff. The empty vault before him made his jaw drop. Heavens, it's all gone. He turned, stammering, my lord, this... Yun Shen frowned lightly. I took my own property from my own domain. Problem. Baha scratched his head nervously. With it empty, everyone will think it was looted. Those supplies were tribute for the other 3 lords. You've made it risky. Yun Shen waved dismissively, voice icy. Let them come talk to me. Do your job. Baha clutched his head, groaning. It's over, we're doomed. With a lord like this, the city's finished. Elsewhere, a graceful woman approached, a colossal beast trailing behind, her aura blanketing the sky. She spoke low, eyes wary. Strange, the Forbidden Ridge's barrier is broken. 'Cause unknown but linked to our realm, perhaps a seal condition triggered. A man's deep voice replied, the humans, likely Yun Shen and Lo Yaoling, were reversa transferred. That ridge is Black Mara territory. Then Lord Qila paused, his grave tone wavering. He sensed something more urgent than mere pursuit. The dazzling woman fixed on the shimmering rift, lipped in with her massive beast, daring the mystery within. Crossing the watery veil, They entered a bizarre space, filled with endless cold coffins stretching into infinity. As she steadied herself, the black-robed woman raised her hand, dark energy swirling to probe which corpse had shaken the mountain's divine seal. Suddenly, one coffin bound by iron chains trembled, metal clanking in eerie rhythm. To her shock, Kila frowned despite the killing aura. The coffin bore only a tiny crack. The black-robed woman tightened her power, voice low but absolute break. Instantly, the coffin exploded, sinister aura bursting out and warping the air. From the mist emerged a frail skeleton with glowing violet-green hair. Kila froze. It was the prodigy of the Akma clan, dead 60 years ago. Why was the body here? Yet the alluring woman merely sneered. Glory or not, a corpse was still a corpse. She brushed her hand over the coffin lid, sensing strange material, deciding to take them all for study. Kila hesitated, uneasy that disturbing the dead might offend the gods. The black-robed woman touched the body calmly. The gods never meddled in their world. Bolder still, she licked her lips, eyes manic, saying she wanted to see if such a god truly existed. Meanwhile, in the ancient city of Antalya, the air buzzed with excitement. A lavish auction began. The host thanked nobles and lords, promising treasures beyond compare. In a shadowed booth, Yun Shen sat quietly, analyzing the blank blueprint that could craft adaptive gear. He murmured, scanning his pack, checking armor parts, belt, shoulders, and boots. Then he pondered, fusing 5 shrank materials into the blank design to forge superior equipment. A black-robed auctioneer stepped up, declaring the event officially open with a mysterious first item. In a steel cage stood a shackled dark elf girl, clothes in tatters. The opening lot, starting at 380,000 demon crystals. The crowd erupted. Some jeered. Some admired. Dark elves were rarely sold in these lands. Yun Shen remained silent, eyes cold as ice, while Lo Jiuling explained their rare lineage and demonic feuds. Unexpectedly, Yun Shen spoke calmly, bidding exactly 380,000, making Lo Jiuling startle and glance up. The host lit up, shouting, "A noble lord has placed the first bid. Any challengers?" By custom, private room bidders were elite lords. Few dared compete, least of all for a mere slave. 3 calls rang out. 380,000 once, twice, thrice sold. At once, a servant led the chained girl over, bowing. "The slave has been delivered for inspection, my lord." Yun Shen tossed him the crystal pouch coolly, signaling the deal complete and dismissal. The attendant bowed gratefully, storing the payment in a dark world spatial stone. La Juling laughed, teasing, "So little Junior likes beauties too, just like Dean Xia back then." Yun Shen merely raised a brow, joking, "I do have an A-grade soul contract, but not for her." He stepped forward, waved his hand, and shattered the chains. The clang made the girl shrink back in fear. As the last chain shattered, she opened her eyes wide, gasping in trembling shock. Yun Shen smiled faintly, his rare warmth showing as he congratulated her on freedom. The girl bowed deeply, her voice quivering with gratitude, asking to know her savior's name. He turned away coolly, saying he was Wu Ji, lord of Tizoko City, and told her to leave quickly. She ran off, still glancing back to shout her thanks echoing through the grand hall. La Ruling frowned and scolded him for being too kind to let a demon go, but Yun Shen said he had his own plan. Right after, the host stepped up again, introducing the 8th rare material mined from false phosphorite. He opened a cage, lifted a glowing violet stone announcing its name, Death Origin Stone, starting at 7.6 million Dark Star coins. The crowd roared bids, jumping fast from 8 to 9.7 million Dark Star coins. Yun Shen squinted coldly, confirmed his intel was right, and decisively bid 12 million. Gasps filled the room as rival lords pushed stubbornly up to 13 million. Then Yun Shen flatly raised it to 20 million, silencing the entire hall. Leaning back with a smirk, he knew the wealth of a whole city was unshakable. The host shouted excitedly, praising the generous lord and asking if anyone dared to outbid him. The nobles exchanged helpless looks, sighing bitterly they couldn't match a lord's treasury. The host called 3 times, declared the sale closed, and congratulated the lord for winning the precious Death Origin Stone. Suddenly, a thunderous explosion rocked the auction hall. The main doors burst open, white-clad raiders stormed in like a raging storm. The nobles screamed in terror, some shouting humans, while the assassins laughed madly and slashed their weapons. Screams echoed, nobles fell like wheat, their pleas ignored by merciless blades. Another voice shouted for everyone to flee before the guards arrived. Chaos erupted as they scrambled for exits. From above, Yun Shen and La Ruling watched calmly through the drifting dust. La Ruling frowned, wondering why humans appeared in the dark world. Their power was no joke. Yun Shen replied coldly that the material he needed had also been stolen by them. The assassins laughed, wrecking the hall and looting freely amid the bloodshed. A violet-haired girl urged her comrades to retreat and head to the next point per the divine priest's order. Just then, a chilling figure appeared, blocking their escape. Yun Shen emerged with La Ruling behind him, his deep voice declaring they wouldn't leave after stealing. The assassins roared and charged, weapons flashing, murderous intent flooding the bloody air. Amid the tension, Yun Shen smiled gently, saying perhaps it was all a misunderstanding, they should talk first. He and Lo Ruling stood blocking the white-clad looters, both eyes razor-sharp. One assassin froze, suspiciously asking if they were humans disguised as demons. The girl beside snapped coldly, saying maybe they were demons disguised as humans. Yun Shen narrowed his eyes, calmly questioning their identity, why dark energy hadn't corroded them, and why they came here. Instead of answering, a greatsword whooshed straight toward him. Both Yun Shen and Ling reacted instantly, dodging by a hair's breadth. He sighed wryly, remarking that talking clearly wasn't in their plan. The purple-haired girl swung her hand, casting a holy enhancement spell that boosted her allies. Their captain laughed wildly, divine energy surging from him like an endless tide. Another shouted that Senya, the high priest, had lost patience and ordered total annihilation. The assassins roared and charged at Yun Shen and Ling, their speed leaving only after images. While dodging, Ling shouted that they were real humans, not demons, and killing each other was madness. But the attackers went berserk, screaming that unworthy kin must die, every strike filled with murder. Yun Shen tilted aside with a smirk, mocking their warm welcome for a fellow human. The captain roared, eyes burning with zeal, declaring that all who don't worship the Lord are heretics. He unleashed full power, demanding Yun Shen atone with his life. His comrades laughed, certain their blow had purified both soul and flesh. But when the smoke cleared, Yun Shen still stood, gripping the spear's tip, saying coldly he'd slain even third ascendants before. Then he activated Finger of Plunder, crushing the enemy's spear in his hand. Stepping forward, his voice turned to steel. If they couldn't purify him, he'd purify them instead. Before the captain could react, Yun Shen's punch, fusing Frost Fist and Titan Force, detonated the air. The blazing red gauntlet struck, hurling the foe down trembling and motionless. Yun Shen looked at him calmly, saying the gap in strength was obvious now they could talk. Yet the others screamed oaths to die for their god and charged like moths to flame. Yun Shen sighed, calling them lunatics, then struck in a blur, killing 3 as a warning. The 2 survivors trembled in terror, kneeling and surrendering. Ling frowned coldly, saying they were too fanatical and should all be killed. Yun Shen glanced over with a bright smirk, praising the guildmaster's decisiveness. Studying closely, Yun Shen noted most were holy knights and sacred swordsmen, while the girl was a pure holotype triple priestess. Ling agreed such classes belonged to the Holy Empire, not this dark realm. Yun Shen glared at the bound duo, asking icily if they were the ones wreaking havoc across the dark world and who commanded them. The girl laughed, a glowing sigil blazing on her forehead, proudly declaring that only those who surrender everything to God may join the Advent Order. Ling sensed danger, yanking Yun Shen back and shouting it was the Law Wing seal. They had to get away now. The girl screamed madly, eyes burning, shouting for the heretics to die with her. The sigil exploded, unleashing a blinding blast that shook the entire space. Yun Shen instantly fused his magic, summoning a shield and protective vines. The Life Guardian shield enveloped him, blocking the violent blast. Amid the smoke, one surviving assassin slipped away, mumbling that his chance to live had come. As the explosion faded, the girl's belongings scattered, glittering among ashes. Ling calmly explained that the Law Wing seal forces its bearer to self-destruct if they believe they've sinned, leaving Yun Shen sighing in frustration. From the debris, he recovered the Death Origin Stone, a treasure map, and other odd trinkets and unexpected bonus. He studied a glowing white feather, realizing it matched a black one he'd seen before, perhaps a mark of rank, and frowned, pondering the Advent Order. Ling tilted her head, saying it might be coincidence, since the Dark Advent worshipped demons, while these ones called killing demons holy duty. Yun Shen's face darkened as he reminded her that though Shed tried to kill them all, one still escaped. Walking among corpses, he asked if Shed let that survivor go on purpose. Ling grinned playfully, admitting she had since direct intel was rare. A live guide would help infiltrate their group. She added that those zealots thought they protected humanity yet only fueled demons' hatred, fanning the flames of war. Placing a hand on her chest, she trembled in anger and grief, condemning humanity for birthing such twisted cruelty, and vowed to uncover the reason. Yun Shen warned sternly that in this dark world, humans acting alone were courting death. Ling stepped closer, smiling brightly, teasing if her junior worried for his senior, then declared Shed infiltrate the group anyway, disguise or not. Yun Shen stayed silent, seeing her resolve, then reluctantly nodded. Seeing his quiet consent, Ling turned waved, and called him the future lord of the 72 demon pillars before leaving. Yun Shen muttered softly after her, telling her to stay safe. She smiled, waved one last time, and disappeared, the two parting with separate missions. After she left, Yun Shen reverted to demon form and returned to the city, calculating that with the Death Origin Stone, he now had 3 steer items too short, so he'd need to ask Bahi. Hours later, passing the castle gate, he froze at the sight, guards' corpses scattered everywhere. A gravely wounded guard trembled and gasped that a high-ranking demon under Lord Carlos had attacked. They couldn't hold them off. Yun Shen ordered the wounded rescued, saying he'd handle the rest, thinking grimly that Carlos, one of the 3 great lords, had come earlier than expected. Inside the hall, Bahi was stomped into the stone floor by a hulking demon, groaning in agony. The demon roared, demanding why such a small city dared defy orders to provide supplies and troops. Bahi strained to answer firmly that all actions were by decree of their acknowledged lord. The demon slammed his head into the ground, making Bahi scream in pain. He sneered, mocking that loyalty to a weakling was nothing but suicidal stupidity. Bahi panted but kept his steady tone, saying their lord was strict yet brought peace, and, more importantly, was a man worth trusting. Yun Shen's eyes lit up, recalling how since that woman invaded the Dark Nation, this city had faced many trials of power. Yet its people still bowed only to the three great demon lords, never truly loyal to anyone else. With his last strength, Bahi declared that only Lord Wuji deserved obedience, had never bowed to any force. The demon roared in fury, punched Bahi's back, and sneered, asking if it still felt comfortable. He punched again and again, laughing maniacally, taunting whether Bahi still felt fine now. After tiring himself out, he lifted Bahi by the neck, hearing him grit his teeth, and vow that their lord would not forgive this, making the demon laugh arrogantly that the lord would soon fall. He boasted that Carlos had ordered Wuji's death and that he'd rise in rank by cleansing the sect. Just as he was about to finish Bahi, Yun Shen appeared, grabbed his wrist, and flung him away. Staring coldly, Yun Shen's voice rumbled, "My follower isn't yours to touch," and he crushed the demon's arm. The demon screamed in pain, stumbling back in shock that he hadn't sensed Yun Shen's arrival. Terror filled him. Yun Shen's power far exceeded reports, and with the Akma King relic, he had no chance. Yun Shen stepped forward, his tone sharp as blades, telling him to inform Carlos in 1 year. He'd challenge him personally, tell him to wash his neck and wait. The demon fled, shouting that Yun Shen dreamed of seizing a demon pillar seat and would pay dearly for it. But Yun Shen blinked ahead, blocking him, his voice low and icy. "I didn't say you could leave." The demon paled, stammering what he intended to do. Without replying, Yun Shen unleashed a fusion skill, a crushing strike to the gut combining Shadow Stream Stab and Martial Swift Fist. The Phantom Hand skill spawned countless invisible palms, piercing his body, draining all his strength in an instant. Guards froze, eyes wide, stunned that their lord's light punch had sucked the foe's life dry. The demon shrieked madly, cursing and struggling to counterattack. He lunged and punched Yun Shen, but the blow was pitifully weak. Panic surged. He couldn't understand why his attacks were useless. A strange dread hit him. His power and gear had vanished, stripped away completely. Reading his thoughts, Yun Shen said coolly, "Your stats, skills, gear, and talents, they're all mine now." He gave a light push. The demon flew backward, smashing through the rear wall. He rolled on the ground, frail and barely breathing. In despair, he gasped, asking why his power was gone, why he'd become like this. The guards trembled, whispering in disbelief that a high demon had been defeated in seconds and stripped of everything. Yun Shen sat calmly upon the throne, his cold gaze sweeping the soldiers. His voice rang slow, but commanding. "He tormented you moments ago, now he's weak, and you'll just stand there." The guards hesitated. One stammered that the demons served Lord Carlos, fighting him now might mean death later. Yun Shen crossed his arms, eyes sharp as blades, voice low yet commanding. In the flickering magic light, he turned toward Bahi and asked coldly, "Are you afraid too?" The words struck like hammers. His aura surged, shaking the space around Bahi. Once, as Bones' trusted aide, Bahi had looked down on others, treating lives like dirt. But now, rage ignited in him. He stepped forward, eyes so cold they thickened the air. The guards froze, hearts pounding, unable to believe the steward dared such madness. The demon lackey smirked instead, taunting that their lord would soon perish and Bahi would die with him. Before the laugh finished, Bahi kicked him in the face, a blow meant to crush that arrogance flat. The guards gasped and shouted in disbelief that had attacked one of Lord Colossus' men. Bah! He spun around and roared, demanding if they hadn't seen how cruel the three demon lords were to their own kind. Then he pointed to Yun Shen, proclaiming that their chance to rise had come, and only the brave deserved to be true citizens. At that moment, Yun Shen stepped forward and firmly offered a choice fight to overthrow the three lords, or live forever as cowards. His words set fire to their hearts. The guards erupted, roaring to tear apart their oppressors. Seeing their fury surge, the demon lackeys screamed threats that touching him meant certain doom. But no one listened. They swarmed him, beating him senseless, venting all their years of rage. In the end, his broken body was dragged out of the city, no longer recognizable as a being. Yet he still managed to rasp out a threat that Lord Kalos would avenge him. When the bloodlust faded, the guards trembled, realizing the disaster they just caused. Their faces went pale. Even Bahi slumped against a wall, muttering hollowly that had doomed the entire city. Just then, Yun Shen smiled softly and said calmly that everyone loses control sometimes. It wasn't worth fearing. Inwardly, he noted that without triggering their latent courage skill, such defiance would have been impossible, but results were what mattered. Finally, Yun Shen handed Bahi a spatial stone, instructing him to use all its resources to strengthen the guard force to the maximum. Bahi widened his eyes. Most of Veda's treasures were inside it. He hadn't expected the Lord to spend everything. Yun Shen then asked about strength materials, but Bahi shook his head, saying such items were incredibly rare. Finding one at auction was pure luck. Yun Shen unrolled the map taken from the Advent Order, placing it before him, saying this was their last remaining lead. Bay. He studied it carefully, describing the route across desert, through swamp, to the city of Void ending at the Flame Demon Purgatory. Suddenly, his eyes widened in horror as he exclaimed that this wasn't a treasure map, it was a death trap. Yun Shen frowned, thinking he was joking, but Beihi quickly denied it, saying if followed correctly, the treasure was indeed real. However, he warned, the place belonged to the Blazing Inferno demon clan, an ancient race whose power rivaled the 72 Pillars themselves. Yet no one knew why that entire clan vanished. Some said divine punishment, others that they defied the void demon. Bahi spoke gravely, saying the place held endless treasures, but countless demon lords had died there, few ever returned. Finally, he knelt, begging his lord to abandon the idea, warning that even the first path could kill, but Yun Shen only smiled, saying it was worth the risk. Bei. He sighed worriedly, warning the lord not to be reckless, that such a long journey would leave the city unguarded. Yun Shen cut him off with a resolute gaze, saying that with his current power, unless the 3 demon lords came themselves, the rest were mere weeds. Bahi nodded, producing a crystal and a scroll, telling the lord to carry them for communication, should danger strike the city. Yun Shen took them, replying briefly in agreement, and ordered him to ready supplies for departure at dawn. Meanwhile, in a shadowed corner of the dark world, the air thickened with gloom and deceit. LaRue Ling had infiltrated the Advent ranks, smugly satisfied at how simple her disguise of robes and slogans had been. Suddenly, a female voice echoed from the main hall, inviting the newly descended divine radiance to enter and pray to the supreme god. Footsteps rang over stone, drawing every gaze toward the temple doors. When the figure appeared, LaRue Ling froze, her heart racing. The new divine radiance was none other than Princess Luc, I she once knew. The sanctuary thundered with chants, hundreds of believers praising the supreme god, their voices like crashing waves. With fanatical fervor, they vowed to devote body and soul to the Lord, calling it their highest honor. Amid the reverent crowd, LaRue Ling forced her calm, turmoil surging as she faced her old acquaintance, now exalted far above her. Fear welled up. If discovered, she'd surely die, for her real face could be concealed. Yet recalling the rare chance to probe the cult's core, she hesitated, unwilling to retreat. Then an idea flashed. She remembered an item that might save her. On the dais, Luc's clear voice thanked everyone for completing the solemn prayer. She continued, announcing that the group who'd gathered rebirth materials had been completely wiped out. Shock rippled through the hall. Panic and outrage filled the air, with curses flung at the demon Mudu who'd slain them. I raised her hand to calm them, saying they'd sacrificed for the Lord, and that her resurrection ritual would soon begin, though materials were still lacking. The followers murmured, admitting the divine radiance was chosen by God, yet worrying the needed materials were too rare and risky to gather. As tension spread, LaRue Ling stepped forth sharply, scolding the cowardly believers for trembling before death. She then shouted passionately that if the high priestess needed materials, stealing or dying for them was an honor to the Lord. I smiled in delight, eyes gleaming. Such pure faith was a rare treasure. She raised her hand, ordering the fervent believer to step forward so she could learn her name. LaRue Ling froze, stammering, Xiao Ling Zi, then cursed herself inside for blurting such a stupid nickname. I tilted her head. Studying the bandages on her face, she hastily explained that Mudui had ruined her looks, and she now trusted the Lord alone to restore them. I nodded in approval but frowned slightly, saying the girl's voice reminded her of a lowly pig she'd once met. LaRue Ling froze, fury boiling inside, yet forced a calm smile, swallowing every curse. I stepped closer, her soft but commanding tone declaring she would personally report this one's faith to the supreme god. As she spoke, radiant wings burst open behind her, flooding the temple with blinding gold light. The worshippers collapsed in tears, wailing that a true miracle had descended and begging to atone and offer everything. Amid the frenzy, LaRue Ling smirked coldly, knowing it was all stage tricks and props fooling zealots. Suddenly, I pointed at her, solemnly appointing little Ling Zi as captain of the new team to gather rebirth materials. LaRue Ling bowed deeply, feigning absolute devotion to the great high priestess. But inside, she swore that when the counterattack came, I would kneel before her in turn. The scene shifted. Yun Shen was following the map's trail, trudging into an endless desert. Winds howled, sand whirling. He mused that no demon claimed this place, for beasts were countless as grains. Smiling faintly, he pulled off his sandcloak, thrilled to draw his sword again. Instantly, he activated fusion with the skill Skyhorse Slash, dashing like thunder and cleaving hordes of monsters. But soon, new waves swarmed from behind, filling the horizon. Yun Shen frowned, realizing killing piecemeal wasted energy. He'd need to herd them and strike once. He activated Divine Flash, soaring upward to survey the terrain and plan the perfect gathering point. When hundreds clustered below, he triggered fusion with Binding Arm. From the ground, countless magic vines burst forth, weaving and ensnaring the beasts tight. The rest was simple. He raised his hand, and nether fire blazed violently in his palm. One move, and a sea of flame devoured everything, scattering ashes skyward. Yet before he could rest, swarms of giant worms shrieked and closed in from all sides. Yun Shen narrowed his eyes, drew his weapon, smirking, more trouble. Fine by me. He fired relentlessly, each bullet imbued with nether fire, incinerating the swarm in seconds. As he advanced miles deeper, he noticed monsters drop no loot. This wasn't a dungeon at all. To harvest materials, he'd have to process the corpses himself, but at least the experience points flowed freely. Amid the ashes, he picked up a pitch-black magic crystal, pulsing with dark energy used by demons to enhance power. From such crystals, dark coins were forged, the universal currency of the underworld. Yun Shen murmured that those stolen stats faded with time. Skills could be learned permanently if his dark energy sufficed. Theoretically, if he adapted to this energy stream, he could wield basic demonic techniques himself. The thought made him grin. It was like testing a new dungeon. Only by trying would he know. 3 months later, deep within a cavern glittering with magic stones, Yun Shen sat atop a mountain of dark crystals. His level had soared to 7 after endless grinding. He stood up, checked the cave's defenses, nodded, and murmured, "All good, let's start the experiment." As absorption began, the demon crystal melted into black mist, pouring into his body, suffocating him with pain. The agony nearly broke him. It felt like his body was cracking apart from the inside. Then he realized the demonic energy wasn't destroying, it was breaking him down to rebuild anew. From flesh to blood, everything warped as demonic aura fused into every cell, turning him half human, half demon. A thick black cocoon enveloped him, marking the start of his evolution into a true demon scion. Inside, dark power raged like a storm through his veins, making him shiver in awe. Amid the chaos, his mind replayed a talk with Xia Lao in vivid clarity. Back then, had asked whether humans could match demons if they lived in pure demonic energy. Xia Lao had said yes if a human fully merged with demonic aura, using it like a true demon. Had asked again, what if humans used demon techniques? Xia Lao instantly refused, utterly impossible. She added that demons could learn human arts, but not vice versa. The gap between high and low was this world's cruel law. Yun Shen looked at his palm and muttered, "But I'm using Nether Flame and Demon Lord's Gift, both demon powers." Sha Kun Cheng sternly explained that Nether Flame was just an absorbed seed skill, while Demon Lord's Gift was God bestowed. Only humans could break laws and forge new ones. She stepped closer, her eyes deep with demonic charm, saying he could inject dark power forcibly, but it'd never again be human. Back in the cave, Yun Shen roared, "No, this is only a test. I won't sell my soul. If humanity can't wield dark force, it'll reject it." Before he could finish, horror struck his hand was corroding, black mist spreading uncontrollably. He triggered super regeneration, but it failed. An unseen law was erasing him, even nullifying the resurrection cross. Amid unbearable pain came a familiar sense of dying, dragging his mind into old memories. He saw himself in a hospital bed, too weak to speak, machines beeping steadily beside him. The heart monitor's beeps sounded like a countdown to his last breath. Beside him, his younger brother Yun Tang sobbed, begging him to open his eyes and not leave again. In his haze, Yun Shen whispered in his heart, "Sorry, I wanted to live too, but I can't." That helpless feeling returned, replaying his near-death moment, and he screamed inwardly, "It can't end like this!" This time, he refused to let death win. Analyzing calmly, he realized the key difference between human and demon was adaptability to dark force. Dark energy was just power if his body couldn't bear it, had turned his skills into temporary containers to hold it. Snapping out of the illusion, he shouted, "Eyes blazing, come on! I won't resist! Merge with me, with my skills I accept it all!" The pain peaked, then faded. Dark power fully fused, and he burst from the cocoon reborn. Black wings spread wide, a tail flicked behind him, and dark aura swirled like a night storm. The primordial nightblood awakened, turning him into a complete demon form, mastering both human and demonic energy. He smiled, realizing dark body, once the Hai Ye Zun's skill, had merged perfectly, tricking the laws into a legal evolution. Exhaling softly, he knew once dark body deactivated, he'd revert to human form, losing access to dark power. Yun Shen smiled gratefully. Hai Ye Zun's gift was mighty, still unfinished yet full of potential. He felt the law's grip, but was glad their creator hadn't noticed. Suddenly, a thunderous roar shattered the cave's silence. A horde of demonic beasts, drawn by his dark aura, surrounded him. He grinned with excitement. "Good, let's test my new strength," he murmured, activating Shi Qi Tong. His eyes gleamed. Every beast in sight froze solid, turned to stone, motionless. Smiling in satisfaction, Yun Shen noted his night vision S had evolved. It could now freeze time within his mana range. Raising his staff, he fused dark power with another spell, starting with toxic tendril tactics. At once, spiked tentacles burst from the ground, gripping and shredding the beasts relentlessly. Next came fireball art. Flames erupted in a dazzling blast, reducing everything nearby to ash. He laughed wildly, thrilled that clone skill now created 2 simultaneous bodies. Curious, he tested fusion combined with duplication. Instantly, Two avatars appeared, one a dark flame swordsman, the other a swift infernal assassin. Each held 65 of his strength, one wielding fire, the other lightning, together annihilating all obstacles. Destroy, Yun Shen commanded, and in a flash, the clones wiped out the entire beast horde. 4 months later, he reached the edge of the endless desert, muttering, "Took 7.5 months because I killed everything on the way." Opening his inventory, he found piles of beast corpses and loot. His level had skyrocketed, rivaling third reincarnation players. Checking his stats, name Yun Shen. Race human, level 62. All attributes over 900, gear and skills ranked S or higher, an intimidating powerhouse. Yet he sighed, admitting he still lagged behind divine players and real demon lords. Becoming one of the 7-2 archdemons was only the beginning. Greater trials awaited. After planning his next move, Yun Shen stepped into a fog-covered swamp known as the Lost Mire. Suddenly, the system chimed. A new quest appeared: eliminate the illusion shell, reward a weapon resistance blueprint, no penalty attached. Reading the quest, he stood amid the toxic swamp, glancing around in confusion. No monsters, just thick fumes tingling his skin. He quickly fused Taoist purification with exorcism talisman, flooding the marsh with white light. Yet nothing changed. He frowned, muttering that the skill had no effect. He reasoned either the environment was broken or harmless, but leaving meant losing 2 missing scrade materials. Just then, hazy silhouettes appeared in the mist. He froze as they merely watched instead of attacking. Suddenly, violet liquid surged from within, his veins burning as if corroded. He instantly realized he'd been poisoned since entering. The paralysis left him immobile. Worse, the creatures were decayed demon beasts, now undead, limping closer. As claws neared, he clenched his will and summoned his shadow clone for aid. The clone dashed in, sliced the leader cleanly, and erased the entire wraith pack. When the light faded, he awoke beneath bright sunlight, body frail, surroundings eerily familiar. Trembling, he muttered, "This sunlight, why am I so weak? Where am I?" Before he could think, Yun Tang's voice came from behind, gently scolding, "You're being discharged today, why the nonsense?" He turned, stunned to see her smiling radiantly, saying Shed recovered and would soon return to campus. She raised her fist playfully, teasing Shed take a part-time job to care for him. He sighed, what kind of fairy works part-time? He pushed off the wheelchair, forcing himself to stand, determined not to rely on her anymore. Back home, he immediately booted up his computer, resuming his gamer journey. He made a new character, no class chosen, and his expert gameplay stirred the entire server. News spread fast. Genius Yun Shen was back, the once invincible player returning with a wild freestyle approach. His skills hit perfection. Every monster kill was crisp, each stage cleared like wind through grass. The system congratulated him. Record-breaking dungeon time, top contender for the championship. The host shouted excitedly, "Yun Shen, the Operation Genius defeated all bosses, national BK champion!" Under the spotlight, the MC grinned, representative of Huasho Yun Shen, any words to share. As the golden trophy touched his hands, Yun Shen beamed, the shining light igniting cheers across the hall. Months later at campus, Yun Tang hugged him tightly, chirping about her graduation and promised to work hard for him. Days after, over hot pot, she laughed while serving meat, boasting Shed just gotten paid and was treating him properly. One night, in her office clothes, she grumbled about unpaid overtime. He could only smile helplessly. They lived peacefully, celebrating birthdays, strolling beaches, capturing every radiant moment. One evening, Yun Tang softly asked, seeing his distant look, "Are you hiding something, or do you want me to find you a wife?" He gazed at the blue sky, voice tinged with sorrow, whispering, "This world is beautiful, but I must go back." As he spoke, Yun Tang smiled faintly, her voice fading into the breeze. "So, you finally realized everything here, including me, is fake." Yun Shen lowered his head, murmuring, "No matter how sweet the illusion, it's still just a dream." She rushed forward, clutching him tight, pleading through tears, "Don't go, stay with me, please!" He gently patted her hair and whispered, "I can't. Out there, real people are still waiting for me." His eyes were firm as his last words echoed, "No matter how painful reality is, I must move forward. Staying means running away." The illusion dissolved. Only hours passed outside, yet he had lived years within that dream world. Amid beast corpses, he sighed, "Good thing I hid Yinggai within Yingzi before entering, otherwise I'd never dare stay so long." A familiar voice called behind him, "Yinggai, finished the quest already." "Oh, you woke up fast." He spun around, startled. "President Ling, weren't you infiltrating the Descent organization? Why are you here?" She shrugged casually, "Just came to collect data, but those cultists got lost in the illusion, thinking it's heaven." Diu Ling explained. The toxic mist condensed into slime that numbed nerves and dulled senses. Those greedy or weak-minded were trapped in fatal dreams. She chuckled bitterly. "Lost beasts are no better. Their illusions must be all meat and blood till they choke on it." Then she eyed him and smirked. "What's with that face? You look more demon than human now." He replied solemnly, "Side effect of absorbing dark mana, mutated skill changed my form, but my human mind's intact." Diu Ling gasped, intrigued. "Absorb dark mana? The army's been stuck on that for years. You actually did it." He shook his head, sighing. It needs the talent of a 72 archdemon and a matching demon crystal. One misstep and you're a monster. Surviving was luck, don't spread it. Then Yun Shen asked for updates. She waved tiredly. Half a year spent stealing resources. Now I'm a small cult leader, but still miles behind UCI, who's become a worshipped high priest. He tapped his chin, frowning. So it was all planned. No wonder she withdrew so easily in the championship. What a schemer. Diu Ling sighed in agreement. Who'd guessed the dissent organization had roots tangled with the Holy Empire itself? She added, most members were raised by the Holy Empire, bred in darkness, brainwashed into believing they were the chosen faithful. To them, only the churchborn deserve existence. Everyone else, human or Madai, are abominations to be purged. Yun Shen frowned. If they revere Madai and call themselves dissent, then what exactly are they trying to summon? Diu Ling coldly recounted her findings, eyes unwavering. He continued, gods don't meddle in the mortal world unless offered sacrifice, so how can they think a true god will descend? She shrugged, no idea. Maybe only Sini claims to be the chosen one, but I'm 80 sure it's a scam. Then she teased, so, you came for the treasure map in Infernal Demon Purgatory, huh? He shot back, and you? She sneered, I'm not stupid, go in there and you die. I'm just finishing my mission. She elaborated the place was the ruin of the fiery Wrath Demon clan. Even demon lords avoided that void citadel, a death pit where all who entered vanished without a trace. Diu Ling advised, Junior, stop here. Go back to Louis City. I'll handle the Shrank data with my current rank in the cult. I can manage. Yun Shen firmly refused. No, it's too risky. If you're exposed, it's suicide. His heart tightened, remembering how she once risked death to save him. Then Yun Shen stood, waving goodbye to Diu Ling, vowing to retrieve the Shrank data himself and silently swore to claim the title of 72 Archdemon to perfect his defensive armor. As he walked, he muttered, only half a year left before the battle with Lord Abmahak. Time's tight, I must leave now. After several miles, corpses littered the ground, the air thick with the stench of death. He murmured, no living beings, no illusion shell as the quest said, or am I hallucinating? On closer look, he noticed the Madai and beasts weren't decaying, they'd been completely digested by something. He stopped, inhaled deeply, eyes fixed ahead, a ghostly city shrouded in deathly gloom, void citadel. From within came no trace of life, only a silence as if the land had died ages ago. He chuckled nervously, got life-saving skills anyway, if danger hits, ill pop invincibility, then divine light escape, and the moment he crossed the border, a spatial vortex erupted, yanking Yun Shen inside before he could react. When he opened his eyes, he was in a strange land, body torn, hands burnt, gasping, what the hell just happened? Frowning, he tried to recall, I entered Void Citadel, so why am I here? And these wounds, who caused them? As confusion clouded his thoughts, a small figure appeared before him. The little girl cheered, you're awake, wonderful, her voice trembling with joy. He asked warily, who are you? Sensing demonic energy in her but no hostility. She quickly turned and shouted, everyone, the outsider's awake, our efforts worked. Soon a group of Madai crowded around, chattering, some praising the herbs, others crediting brute strength. The girl smiled and asked, what's your name? Where are you from? Before he could answer, she added, strange, even up close I can't see your face, it's all misty. I'll just call you Shuwu Void, okay? The villagers cheered, praising Senjana for such a fitting and cool name. Blushing at the praise, Na grinned, tugging his hand, I found you first, so I'll take care of you. Come on, let's go home. Yun Shen blinked home. And so, he followed Xiao Na home, beginning a peaceful life in the small village within this strange land. Over time, he learned their ancestors were Madai who fled war, seeking quiet refuge. For centuries, they'd lived apart, no fighting, no killing, simple lives like a dream of calm. Yet oddly, no one could clearly see his face or hear his true voice. That only deepened their belief he truly was void, existing between reality and illusion. Thankfully, they didn't shun him, they welcomed him warmly, and living among them brought him a rare peace. He even sighed, this is the life worth dreaming of. But before he could finish, a headache struck, clutching his brow. He winced 3 months of strange episodes, blurting words he didn't understand. Just then, Xiao Na appeared, smiling with a glowing stone. Shu Wu, it's lesson time, let's start with something important. She raised the luminous stone and pointed to the carved mark, this is your name. While they spoke, a group of adults rushed past, shouting, another one's appeared! Hurry, don't let them die this time! Yun Shen frowned. What happened? Someone replied, another outsider appeared, unlike you, his face is clear, and he looks like one of us. Xiao Na explained, the first time we met an outsider, everyone was scared, but Shu Wu was kind, so now they believe this new one must be good too. Yun Shen's tone hardened, that thinking's dangerous. This time there aren't 1 or 2 but 5 or 6 of them. No sooner had he spoken than he saw the wounded newcomers sprawled across the ground ahead. A reed-haired man groaned. It hurts like hell. The blood death ravine was insane. Shulv listened to father, no treasure's worth this pain. Demons. Another snapped, young clan chief, we warned you that place was forbidden. Now we're all paying the price. The young chief spun on him, shouting, silence! Afraid of a little pain. One squeeze of this sensing crystal, and my father will come. at Fury Wrath Demon Clan speed. "He'll be here in seconds." One trembling man muttered, "We were at the border of Mist Trench and Blood Death Ravine. How did we fall into this weird place?" The chief frowned. "First time I've seen it too." As they puzzled over it, a shout echoed, "Over here! The outsider's here!" The villagers hurried toward them. Seeing the Madai approach, the 5 strangers tensed. One hissed, "Great, fall into nowhere and meet another race. They look weak, strike first!" Instantly, the chief raised his hand, warning, "Wait, they're not hostile. Don't act rashly." A companion sneered, "Strange, since when are you merciful?" But the chief's cold smirk said otherwise. He was calculating. Had already noticed the purple marks and ancient runes, signs of pure-blood insect clan, extinct for millennia. Pretending weak, he staggered forward, groaning, "Help me, I'm dying," while thinking slyly, "These ancients are priceless, sell or study. Either way I win." The unsuspecting villagers rushed to help, cheering, "More outsiders? Bring herbs, quick!" The chief grinned inwardly. A whole village of pure-blood ancients, jackpot. Xiaona eagerly said, "Let me heal them?" But Yun Shen grabbed her hand, eyes heavy with worry. He thought grimly, "Peace has made them forget cruelty. These people could bring doom to the whole village." Xiaona asked innocently, "Shuwu, why won't you let me go?" He tried to answer, but his throat locked. An unseen law bound him, forbidding him from revealing the outside world. Closing his eyes, he felt dread. He knew what was coming, yet could stop it. A week passed. The Fiery Wrath demons fully recovered and left, amid the villagers' cheerful farewells. That morning, Yun Shen chopped wood in calm sunlight, breathing in peace. Returning home, he froze. The village was ash, blood soaking the soil, no life left. Before him, the young chief gripped Xiaona by the neck, lifting her high, laughing hoarsely, "Ha ha ha! This is what rebels get! Refuse slavery, then die!" Struggling in his grasp, Xiaona gasped her last words, "Shuwu, the outsider hates," before her voice faded. The chief's hand tightened, a sickening crack rang out, and the girl went limp, lifeless before Yun Shen's eyes. An unseen force restrained him, rage boiling within. They were living beings! How could you be so cruel? In a flash, his energy erupted, crushing 2 Fairy Wrath demons into dust. He roared, leaping into the air, "Die! All of you!" His fist struck like thunder, ground exploding, shockwaves tearing through the land. Screams echoed. "What monster is this? Help!" Only the young chief remained, trembling under Yun Shen's icy stare. His body quivered, lips stammering, Do you know who my father is? The Fiery Wrath Demon Chief! Kill me and your dead meat!" Yun Shen smirked coldly. "Oh, really?" With a flick of his hand, the man was hurled upward and disintegrated into dust. He murmured, voice frostbitten, "Then call your father here." Within a minute, a blinding teleportation light split the sky. The Fairy Wrath Demon Chief arrived, aura fierce and searing. He thundered, "Faceless one, what god are you to kill my son?" Yun Shen replied calmly, "Simply I wanted to." Instantly, the entire scene began to dissolve. Collapsing to the ground, he muttered, "So it's over, as real as it felt, still just an illusion. Even Yun Tang's dream couldn't hold me, how could this?" Rising, he wandered aimlessly, glancing around, "But this place feels familiar." His foot struck something, a stone. Picking it up, he froze. It was the same learning stone Xiao now once used. Could it all have been real? Piecing the clues together, the village, the scenery, the identical stone, only now, everything lay in ruin. He sighed, realizing this wasn't a dream, but a memory of the past. He was merely a witness, powerless to change it. Remembering Hebo's words that the Fiery Wrath Demon Clan had existed since ancient times, he realized he was seeing that tragic history. But if so, why hasn't this land revived? Looking up, he froze as the volcano had erupted, molten waves surging like a fiery tsunami. He dashed away, but before he could escape, a swarm of ravenous beasts closed in. Their howls echoed, "Hungry! So hungry!" They shrieked madly, lunging to devour him. Yun Shen snarled, "The dead turned living, whatever you are. I just need to pierce through." He slashed hard, his spear impaling heads, but it did nothing. Their bites drove him back. Watching his spear melt under the heat, he gasped, "What the hell is happening?" A blow sent him flying, spinning midair. He realized their strength was beyond imagination. He could keep fighting. Suddenly, a beast roared, its arms split open, spewing molten streams, shrieking in hunger. Yun Shen twisted aside, dodging the spiraling magma tornado crashing down. Before he could breathe, the rest opened their maws, vomiting torrents of molten fire toward him. With no room to evade, he unleashed divine flash. His body lit up and vanished like lightning. Yet the magma trails pursued relentlessly, forcing him to wonder how to survive such a relentless assault. One blast hit him, his body burned black. Teeth gritted, shock filled him as the beasts predicted his movements with uncanny precision. Then, a strange figure appeared midair, aura of death blanketing the sky. The being spoke in a low, rumbling voice, eyes fixed on Yun Shen, realizing the intruder of this memory realm was, astonishingly, a human. Instead, he sneered, saying humans were nothing but insects, too weak to even touch the abyss. Yun Shen eyed his spear, thinking that even with nether flame absorbed and max fire resistance, he still got burned. This fire was absurdly strong. So he gripped the spear tighter, channeled icy ki, smiled coldly, and resolved to show them the true power gap. Instantly, he unleashed Frozen Torrent Break, summoning a massive ice waterfall to halt the raging lava surge. Next, he activated White King's spell, sensing with Wind Sage Julie to conjure a thunderstorm that vaporized the monsters to ash. The stranger stroked his chin with interest, eyes gleaming with curiosity at the strange skill he'd just witnessed. Then he said slowly, "If you can perceive the law of that place, it'll grant you a chance to meet me." As soon as he finished, his figure dissolved into the void, leaving a chill lingering in the air. Yun Shen glanced around, no one in sight, wondering if it had been an illusion, then shook his head and moved on. Examining the slain monsters, he noticed they were tier 3 level but dropped no demon cores. So he guessed they weren't real beasts, perhaps something far scarier lurked inside the volcano, worth investigating. Just ahead, new monsters roared and lunged, claws ready to tear flesh. To conserve strength, he cast stealth mode, slipping between them, amused that these battle-savvy idiots couldn't sense him. At the Fire Mountain gate, he froze. Someone was bound amid the glowing magma, too far away to see clearly. Activating Hunter's vision, he zoomed in and realized it was none other than the chief of the fiery Demonclaw tribe. Meanwhile, at Jiangnan University, students crowded in Ye Qingling whispered why third Dyers were attending a second Dyer ceremony. Wo Feiqing pointed discreetly. Those behind the principal in uniform must be frontliners. Something big was brewing. But Ye Qingling sighed that ever since Yun disappeared, schedules tightened and daily drills became exhausting. As she continued, Gu Feiqing quickly covered her mouth, warning not to mention Yun or risk trouble. He whispered that after Yun's incident, Nikon's personality flipped cold and scary. Any mention of him sent her into rage. At that moment, Yanfu stood on stage, sternly announcing a major matter and demanding silence. He declared that due to the crisis, second and third-year students and instructors would be sent directly to the front lines. Thus, all the dangerous lessons and mock drills had been real survival training for this coming war. The students murmured in fear. The front lines were brutal. If even seniors died there, Yurtus were basically doomed. Ye Anfu continued, saying the army would assign battle zones according to each person's profession, urging strict cooperation. Then, several soldiers approached Xia Chuancheng, pleading for his return to the army as the situation had grown dire. Xia Chuancheng replied coldly, "It's all because of the Holy Empire had warned them," but no one listened. The soldier answered that the Holy Empire was still one of the 5 great nations. War would devastate both sides, and they still needed them against the demon realm. Xia Chuancheng sneered, saying cowards like them let the Holy Empire rampage, killing freshmen and escaping with mere apologies. Scarface sighed, saying if the front collapsed now, there'd be no future left to discuss. Xia Chuancheng retorted coldly that endless tolerance made the Holy Empire lazy, and even Scarface admitted they were a cancer yet untouchable. He explained that forcing their destruction would shatter the front lines, and the true threat now was the devouring demons, who'd adapted to the human world and were slaughtering wildly. Xia Chuancheng nodded, agreeing the situation was dire, but said his time to act hadn't come yet. Enraged, Scarface shouted that he'd been in retreat for 3 years. How long was enough? Xia calmly replied, maybe another year or 2. Finally, he assured him not to worry. He'd already left a trump card in the dark world, and now was the time to use it. Hearing that, Scarface lowered his voice, agreeing but asking him to at least send his 2 demon maids back. They'd be useful on the front. Xia chuckled, saying lightly that they'd been dispatched long ago and were likely finishing their mission by now. Indeed, Xiao Wu and Xiao Lang were currently in the dark world, tracking traces of Mr. Yun. Xiao Wu urgently asked if they still couldn't sense Mr. Yun's location. Xiao Lang bowed and whispered no signal yet. She sighed, saying they'd crossed over 40 nations without finding a trace of him. Something clearly wasn't right. Xiao Lang hesitantly asked if Mr. Yun might have been killed. Explaining their link broke, Xiao Wu instantly denied it, saying impossible. She reasoned that if he had died, the demon realm would displayed his body long ago as a rallying symbol, so he must still be alive. Xiao Lang's voice dropped, fearing that being captured alive would be worse, making Xiao Wu shiver before gritting her teeth. Then it's time to use the master's hidden card. Xiao Wu smiled faintly, saying it's been so long since they returned home she wondered if it still looked the same. Meanwhile, Yun Shen's side saw the fiery Demonclaw chief screaming in agony, endlessly muttering the chilling word hungry. Hiding behind a boulder, Yun Shen watched closely. Once mighty, the demon was now chained and starved, barely a ghost of himself. He recalled Hebo's words that this being was once one of the 72 ancient archdemons and couldn't have fallen so far without reason. Suddenly, the demon spewed a massive pillar of fire, shaking the volcano violently. Yun Shen backed off, realizing the outer monsters came from his vomit. The chains forced him to release energy, birthing new beasts each time. He calculated silently blood and flesh from a rank 72 demon lord could forge scrayed materials, an opportunity not to miss. Instantly, he activated Sword Rogue Fusion, merging assassin speed, sneaking up silently from behind. Then he slashed with Sealing Hand blade, aiming hard at the giant's neck. Yet the strike barely scratched. It was like a mosquito bite on steel. The demon roared madly, howling hungry, hungry as the sound echoed through the volcano's heart. Heat erupted. Yun Shen raised a barrier and smirked. Want to eat me? Let's see if you're up to it. Then he transformed, standing tall amid molten lava, eyes cold and battle-ready. The monster's blazing eyes locked. Yun Shen calculated though weakened. It was still a rank 7-2 archdemon. Keeping distance was his only edge.